views and opinions expressed on Geeks Under the Influence are that of the panelists and not of our sponsors, Amazon.com and TeePublic. Parental discretion is advised. We had the Nerd Geek Hub. That was our...
2015. Hey, it's about geek stuff was enough in 2015.
The evolution of it is you know, it didn't happen fast, but it kind of, if you look back on it, it's like, damn. Like, it kind of just it flashed by, but it didn't at all. Like, it was definitely a slow crawl. Even for this show, the way things evolved, you know, the certain gimmicks that stayed or you know, segments that you kept, you know, that all like was bred out of chaos because there was so much chaos in the beginning.
So much fun. It was just pure chaos.
I was going to say, the reason it flashed by in a blur was because it's a haze of alcohol.
I know.
So it's not about it went by fast. We were just too shithoused to remember all of it.
I can't believe how much booze we drank during episodes back in the day.
So
it's stupid amounts.
How much time it took me to edit something that sounded like fucking garbage. Like, I would take 16 hours to edit something that was like, it sounded like the Peanuts adults at the end of it.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. There are still, I know of podcasts that have been out for 5 or 6 years that still sound like that. So, I mean, give yourself some credit.
Sure, yeah, and I'm not saying that we have like an absolutely perfect show now, but it's definitely better. It's at least listenable.
It's very enjoyable to listen to.
Quality,
yeah.
Oh yes,
I don't feel like nails on a chalkboard.
No, it's easy on the ears.
Yeah. So we're
this is our ASMR segment.
Let's get into it because we don't have a format for this episode. We're not talking about anything in particular. We're doing a final episode as a free play, as our listeners.
We're doing the
know.
exact opposite of what we just said, which is beautiful.
Yeah, we're saying you got to have some kind of thing to talk about.
Well, we had order out of chaos. Now it's time to bring it back to a little bit of chaos.
And to dust they shall return.
That's right.
Sure.
That's right.
Yeah. We are. If you have been following along the last couple months with GUI, we've talked about there being an ending to our regular releases of episodes. This is it. This is the last one. We won't be done releasing episodes permanently. Like, we'll be releasing a couple here and there as we have a chance to get together and shoot the shit and release stuff, but we are not going to be releasing even monthly moving forward.
I like to think of this as like the retirement phase where we're gonna like, you know, like get shorts and
some
like a
Tommy Bahama shirt.
Yeah, Bahama shirt, and we're only gonna like really release when the weather's nice and we can take our shoes off.
You're this into us wearing socks and sandals, and I just don't.
No. You can't wear those on the fucking beach. That's what I'm saying.
This sounds like dinner time at 3 and bedtime at 6.
No. It's not that kind of boring ass.
No, this is more like. This is like
martinis on the bungalow bar on the beach.
This is that one crazy summer before we all go off to college where we're like, no matter what we do, we meet up once a year, we're still going to be friends, and then we meet up once a year and talk about like those successful ones and the ones that have like a crack habit, and everybody's kind of going in their own directions but are still close.
That makes no sense because everyone who's been on this podcast is twice the age of anybody getting in college.
No, but for like podcasts.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nah, for podcasting, yeah.
Well,
definitely.
You started 8 years ago, so we're child. We're like a child.
We're just hitting puberty. That's why we're switching off away.
In podcast years, 8 years is basically like a senior citizen.
So, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. AARP card.
Whatever metaphor you want to use. This is Geeks Under the Influence. We will be releasing every so often an episode when we get a chance to get together and we want to either talk about something like a movie or something happening that we really want to talk about, or we just want to get together and shoot the shit.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, every other show is moving forward strong, and there's going to be. Well, we'll get into that in the episode. That is something we have a slate format as we do want to gush all over what GUI's got planned for the year.
True.
Oh yeah, we got some stuff coming.
Absolutely. So we definitely need to go into
all
that.
over the face, neck, and chest.
We are somewhat still have a.
Something to go to.
We have an avenue we're going to go down. We're going to inch down it,
Nothing's dying.
I bet you are, Lowdown.
That's right. That's all they can take is just,
Are you giving a Salvatore under the table hand job?
Oh, yeah.
Dry hand job?
It's the final hand job.
Die jack.
Welcome to Geeks Under the Influence, all things. Episode 269. Welcome.
Yeah.
Nothing's at work and shall be again. A
Yes.
I thought you were about.
Thank you.
I'm not.
thought
It's
you were
the
gonna
last
b-
one though. Like,
Welcome
it's like
to-
that surprising.
Welcome to
I
chaos.
thought you were gonna
Yeah.
make a next generation joke, like all good things, like as like the final episode, sort of.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You fucking nerd.
I figured that the final hand job joke was good enough and just
Oh,
left it
Yeah,
jeez.
there.
Yeah.
I,
I know.
I was,
I was like,
I'm
the
sorry.
microphone
We're not
dropped.
welcome
I was a
anymore.
little slow to respond to the woo because I was thinking of lyrics to go to that song. And then it
We're
just went away.
jacking together.
It's like, I was gonna say we're coming together.
Oh, we're coming
There you
together.
go.
Better. That's better.
Yeah, see? There you go.
see.
Sounds like,
That's why we're a team.
Exactly.
this is like the Weird Al late nights.
It's the
sessions.
it's the GUI Nights version of Weird Al.
Yeah, that's
Somebody
right.
just like scribbling furiously. This is brilliant.
GUI Nights
Weird Al
presents.
sitting in his
Yeah.
closet with his earbuds on, listening to Geeks Under the Influence, writing his new hit. Yeah.
Oh God.
Dry jacking into a towel. It's
Oh,
all
no.
Oh. Oh.
great. Eat
So,
it.
Welcome
Sorry.
to this fucking chaos. And this
Aw.
will for sure be a chaotic episode. We got a lot of booze to get through. We got lots of reminiscing and excitement about the future to get through, and a great panel.
Yeah.
We got the old schoolers here for sure. First off, of course, is Kyle Smash,
What's up?
one of the
How you doing?
Geekfathers.
Hi.
And you guys are back to releasing episodes after a brief hiatus.
The Geekfathers, we are. We
Yeah.
are regular, releasing as regular as we can keep it
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
in this world, and as busy as shit is.
As
but
fathers.
yeah, that tends to throw a wrench into things at times, but it's a good wrench. It's not a bad wrench. Let's just put that out there.
It's not a bad.
Well, it comes up the works, but it's okay.
That sounds like a tagline
Children
for-
are not bad wrenches.
They're good wrenches.
I know. China proves that all the time.
They're good wrenches.
Oh.
Oh.
dun, dun, dun.
That should be the tagline of your show. It's Geekfathers, children are not bad wrenches.
Oh. Man.
But it's been fun. We actually recorded last night.
And I think I saw one posted today, an episode drop on. I
Yeah.
believe. So get
So
it going.
fucking listen to it.
Hell yeah!
All right.
Listen to it. Next up is our resident specialist in schlock.
Oh,
Herr
yeah.
Grutz is here.
Yes, indeed. How's everybody doing?
Great. I
Peachy fucking keen.
I finally saw the menu.
I'm glad you did.
It is really good.
It's way better than it has any
Yep.
reason being.
Absolutely.
So it lives up to the hype.
It's
Oh,
really
yeah.
good. I don't know if it's as like my favorite movie of like 2022 or whatever, but
Well, it's not the best film ever, but it is so much better than it has any reason to be. And if I can
the plot
describe
is
it,
cheesy.
if I
I
can
mean, it's-
describe it in like 10 seconds, it's like that awesome freaking opening to American Psycho where they're doing all like the food art during the credit sequence.
You're
It's
done.
like if they made that a movie.
Yep.
Oh,
You made it
almost
12.
Pretty close.
Made it 12.
Close.
Made it 12.
That's good.
Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good job.
you know.
But yeah,
But
that
it's
was
really good.
That was one
That
of the
was
movies
good.
I was told that like before like the Oscars and stuff, I had to make sure that I had to catch the menu, and I did. And I don't know if this is really an Oscar contender for me, but it's a great film.
Is it up?
I don't think they made the announcements yet.
Oh, okay.
No, I think it's probably one of my favorite. It's in my top 5 favorite genre movies of the year, 100%.
Top 5, I would have to think about that for a minute. But
Because
yeah,
for like horror and thriller and all that kind of
Mhm.
stuff, like satire, like everything.
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's it hit HBO and I just haven't watched it yet, but I did add it to my list. It's on the.
It's a good time with
It's on
the
the Jimmy
fucking like
Jam.
alien human actress. What's her face? Isn't it?
Oh, Anna Taylor-Joy.
Anna Taylor-Joy.
Alien
looks like
human?
she looks like a fucking praying mantis.
Actually, I'm sorry.
Oh God, I would love to. Never mind.
No, I mean that's the thing. Is like she's still very attractive, but she also looks like a praying mantis. And I can't
Anya.
Oh.
get it.
Anya
Anya
Taylor-Joy.
Taylor-Joy. I can't get that to like quantify in my brain that I want to have like loving, nurturing sex with a praying mantis.
I got you.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like she'd probably be more like dirty fuck too. I don't think she'd
Maybe.
be just straight like.
I think
We
you
are
need-
talking about this, and I know she's a grown-ass adult now, but like it wasn't that long ago that she was a child in The Witch. Just saying.
It was 2015. It was actually like the first year we did this podcast 7 years ago.
Yep.
And also
Almost 8.
ask yourself, would it be worth it if she happens to actually be a praying mantis?
So she's gonna bite your head off
lost your head.
afterwards. Yeah.
No, like I mean,
It's not worth it.
I would definitely take like a beat to consider it, but then it'd be no,
not
I've
worth
got
it.
too much to live for.
She is pretty, and she did a great job in Last Night in Soho too.
Last Night in Soho was awesome.
That was
I
really
enjoyed
good.
And I mean, she did great in Northman.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Northman.
yeah,
I didn't see that.
Yes.
It's on Prime now. It's fucking awesome.
It
dude.
is incredible.
It's a
Brutal.
goddamn fever dream of like old religion, fucking old Scandinavian religion, and just
Is
way
it just
of life.
brutal?
Watch it on the biggest
it is,
biggest
but
screen
it's
you
got-
can find
yeah.
because it's worth it.
I wish I saw it in the theater because
Me
like
too.
I feel like my 65-inch was not doing it justice, and it looked gorgeous. But I was like, why didn't I fucking see this in theater?
Yep.
I was pissed. But it was only in theater for like a week.
The one that is
okay.
I think for the first time on the show pissed during a recording. Is,
Totally the very first time.
Very first time. It's never
Yeah.
happened before. We're facing history right now.
Ah, yeah, no, rewriting GUI history
Yeah, absolutely. We've
as
got
we speak.
the rage monster himself, Mr. Lowdown Brown MacGyver.
Fucks up everybody. Actually, like I've gone down
Yeah,
throughout
for
the
sure.
years. It's like with like now
Yeah,
the
you got real low,
curmudgeon
brother.
and the grumpy has gone up, but the actual like roid rage has gone down.
It has.
And not that I've never done steroids, folks. It's just it's a saying. Just don't get your all pants.
I remember
in a
when we had
bunch.
live recordings, I would actually have like a graphic show up on screen whenever you were going on a rant that said
Yeah.
"Roid Rage."
That was
Yeah.
amazing. I loved that. It was so much fun.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, it was great. It was awesome. Yeah.
We did some dumb shit back in the day with this show.
It was so good though.
Oh, very fun,
It was
very
so
fun.
good.
Well, you know, he's the one. Obviously, he brought me on, and
Hunter.
and Hunter. But
No, I just mean like
you brought me and Hunter on
at
yes.
different times. Yeah.
But when you brought me on, it was the Star Wars, the original trilogy discussion. And I'm sitting there like, I'm looking for cues. I'm looking at you for cues. And I'm like,
Oh God.
and this motherfucker gets so drunk and so fucking hammered, he's just asleep. Just passed the fuck out. Then he gets up randomly, goes in the bathroom. We don't see him for like a good, I don't know how, maybe 15 minutes. Comes back out, still absolutely useless to me. I'm like,
no. I didn't come back out. Like,
oh, okay.
Crump came in
Oh,
and found me. That's the night that I broke the.
is that when he put his balls on your forehead, or was that a different time?
Be more specific.
Yeah, that happened a lot.
This was when they found me passed out, leaning against the cupboard, and I had broken the panel out on the cupboard under the bathroom.
That's right.
And I blame that because that was on a Sunday, and I started drinking at like 9:30
Like-
Those Sunday
and didn't
those
stop at
old
brunch.
Sunday recordings
with
were
brunch. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ!
like dangerous
Yeah.
to our well-being.
You remember the brunches, Grutz? You only came to a couple. Grutz was there at Bandito's brunches, dude.
Oh yeah, I didn't start at 9:30.
Well, it was like 10.
I was like 11 maybe. I was
you get there
usually
like
late.
somewhere between like 10 or 11:30.
It was like 10.
and then
I was
drink until
late.
like 2 or 3, and
You're
then
always
either go
late.
home for a little bit or just go straight over and then start pre-gaming for the recording. And then around like 4 or 5, start recording, and then take an hour or two in between, like after the first break.
That's literally what happened. Is I did brunch. I left brunch at finally at 2:30 or 3. Went over there and just hung out. It was just nonstop drinking all day.
All day.
It was
By
fun.
the time I got there, you were well into it. You must have been well into it.
I was
that
well into it
day.
when I got there at like 4. Yeah. Anyway,
I was
so-
just like, yeah, Lowdown. No, he's gone. He's
And
gone,
the simple
everybody.
fact that this was the idea that we had to. This is a show that people will want to listen to. Is our
Yes.
slurred as fuck like ass.
Now the
You
man
go
who was
fuck yourself.
so grateful for where we are now and what GUI has evolved into, but the man who thought it was a good idea to edit all that shit and have us all drinking for a total of recording for 2.5 hours. There was 6 hours of a hangout,
That's
and everything other than 2.5 hours was booze. He thought that was a good idea. We got Michael Bickett right here.
Yeah, I'm dumb.
We would get there. Like I would leave work on Fridays, come straight from work to record, start drinking. We wouldn't record till like same time is now, like around 8.
Yep.
Take like an hour and a half break, and then record the second. Like, dude, it was stupid.
We would get done around like sometimes 1 a.m.
Yes.
We'd finish recording.
Yes.
you'd have to eat a
And-
meal in between.
I didn't. I would bring food, but
Yeah,
it
he would
didn't
bring
help.
food.
Well, no,
but,
but when we would do that, I would bring bags of just pretzels from Wawa. I'm like, just anything to soak up. I almost brought it one tonight just out of nostalgia.
I remember that. You used to
That was
bring the
better than,
pretzels.
Dan, which to Dan, but
Dan.
he would
to
stop.
Dan.
Lost.
He would stop at fucking
Danimo.
Publix, and he would get these giant sandwiches, and then he would just like eat the sloppiest he was the sloppiest eater.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was.
He would have like
was.
mayonnaise and stuff all over his beard, just like dripping off of his beard, just
Oh,
making the
yeah.
loud munching noises. Ugh.
it's like, dude, you can't eat while you're recording.
Oh, you can't eat near me. Go stand on the other side of the yard and finish that.
But and
Hoagie.
it's funny you mentioned that because, like, just speaking of one of the GUI family we lost is, I was thinking about that one day. Oh, I was at Hardywood for Punctured Presence. I think that's the first time I'd been at the Richmond Hardywood since his celebration of life.
Oh, right.
At the end of 2021. So it kind of hit me a little bit, and I was thinking of just about that because I used to meet Dana all the time, and there was usually eating involved, and I was like, yeah, he is the sloppiest eater, but I would kill to watch him eat like he's got a fucking trough on his face with him not being here. Over the
Oh,
last
right,
year and a half.
yeah.
Like, I mean, honestly, like, I want that back just so I could say, dude, here's a fucking napkin.
Well, with the
He's
the
like, fuck
friends I've lost over the years, that's the thing is the stuff that you used to bitch at them about the most.
Yeah,
ended up being
dude.
the things that you kind of miss, even the stuff that was annoying as shit.
I miss that shit because, like, literally, I mean, it became a thing with he and I. Like, we'd be out at like something where at Hardywood or whatever, we get a food truck, get something to eat, and he would start eating, and like halfway through, I'm like, bro, use the fucking napkin. He's like, fuck you, keep eating, and it just became a thing where he knew I was gonna talk some shit, and he was gonna just tell me to go fuck myself or something. I don't know. It was like a
thing.
It was a thing, you know?
Yeah, it was like Dr. Kelso says from Scrubs. He's like, you know, basically what you said is like, you know, the things that drive you crazy are the things you tend to miss the most when they're gone.
yeah.
And it's probably the truest statement there is.
Well, that's their like most themness is the stuff that is
It's what
clearly
you're-
not something they're doing to get along with people. You
Yeah.
know, it's the stuff that you like them in spite of.
Exactly,
Right.
and that's a very true statement too. It's the
Yeah.
stuff that you love about it, that you still love them in spite of the things that make you want to bash your head into a wall.
That's
Themness is
The
something that
themness.
we tried to definitely maintain on this show is just none of us are being really performative more than maybe being a lot, but we're still being ourselves. You know,
Yeah.
we're still
Yeah.
being our own personalities. We're not like faking it or doing some different version of ourselves. We're showing off for sure.
for sure.
But it's still us.
And with that, you know, we've maintained that, but also with that has helped make it a network and people feeling like they have the confidence to go off and create their own show.
Mhm.
They get the reps behind the mic on this podcast, the flagship GUI. But the fact that we nurture people being who they are, as far as, you know, weird quirks and weird mannerisms and stuff like that, I feel like that was a big catalyst into what allowed it to become a network because people just felt like they could be themselves while creating a show. Like they didn't lose that by becoming a showrunner and feel like they had to put on a different face, you know, and that's a big deal. It really is.
Yeah. I mean, that was the genesis of GUI is we're a bunch of friends. We love talking shit about nerd stuff.
About each other.
Everything. Yeah. About each other.
About each other.
About everything we love to do. Like
A lot of
music,
cock and balls.
movies, everything. Like we love talking about that stuff. Why the fuck don't we like get together? We're already doing it. We're already getting together. We're already watching the movies. We're already doing the thing. Let's get together, record something.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the genesis. And we proved that we could do that and have fun doing it for some number of years. And then we started to have, other shows like, well, let's do this thing that's more specific or this and that. Fucking beautiful. And at the end of the day, it's not about like marketing or making money. It's about having fun and like doing something that makes us happy.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I'm sure any therapist will probably tell you that, like, all right, what's your favorite show or movie? Is that something that you watch all the time when you're like feeling stressed out? Well, that's your comfort show. And that's all we do. Like, we sit around and we share these things that comfort us. And it just happens to be that a lot of them are on the same level, same wavelength. And that stretches across, you know, it's the age of the geek or age of the nerd. Like, that stretches across oceans.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. And that's where it comes from, is like, this is what kind of makes me up. This is why this is my favorite movie. You get that about me, don't you?
Yeah.
Like, and that's what's cool. That's what I've always loved about it. You
Yeah.
know, I felt like I actually, for an hour and a half, somebody understands me.
Yeah, no, that's actually a very huge part of it too. That's well said. Although I do feel bad because I know one of your number one comforts is, and we never did a Scrub episode. I'm sorry,
No, but
that's like your
you know
number
what?
one. Like that's like your go-to.
That's
comfort.
been that's stuff. 2022. I watched,
and
that
I feel
a
like we
lot.
all enjoy Scrubs, so I don't know why we never did a Scrubs
Actually, right now
episode.
it's Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I switched it up just for a little while.
But see, Scrubs has track record for years.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
an old
Scrubs
show.
is that's like an emotional anchor.
Yeah.
There's almost an infinite amount of like fandom and nerddom that you could latch onto. And this show could have run, every week for the next like 20 years and we still wouldn't cover everything. So like,
Yeah.
Not even close.
not even. Yeah.
So much stuff that we talked about doing that never did. We never did. We never did a Lord of the Rings episode. We never did a James Bond episode.
Wait, we never did Lord of the Rings?
No, we never did. We did did we end up doing Rings of Power? I think we did a Rings of Power
We
episode.
did do Rings of Power, but I thought we never did Lord of the
We
Rings.
never did a Lord of the Rings episode.
Oh, that was a mistake.
Whoa.
We should have done a Lord of the Rings
For
episode
sure.
and just not done the Rings of Power. What the fuck are you talking
But
about?
that's the thing. There's
But,
always, especially during the summers, we were looking at there being like 8 things that we had to cover in the same week that it was just impossible. We had to pick one. And that became brutal, and that was part of it too, is that I think we were trying to chase the most current, and by we, I was definitely kind of leading the charge on trying to stick with the very current stuff that we were talking about. But that gets exhausting after a while, for sure.
Sure. And then also like the amount of shit to pick up on from the past is daunting. Like it's so, it has to be absolutely just like, overwhelming.
Well, there's just more stuff being added to the past as you go, like there's just more and more content.
Like everything you missed and you go into the next year now is in the past.
Yep.
Like it just
You're like,
keeps
hey,
building.
remember last year when this thing came out? Let's talk about it now.
Yeah, exactly.
They would just call that being alive,
Yeah.
being sentient.
But with like in that respect, it's like there's a certain time frame that needs to go by before it's like almost okay to go back
Sure.
in the past and start and do an you know what I mean, and do an episode.
Cultural mention that brings it back into the zeitgeist.
Like Stranger Things brought back a tons of stuff and like, okay, well now we can reference this because like that show did that and stuff like that.
Actually, I love that Stranger Things has been one of my favorite shows now for a while, because not just because of the nostalgia, but it's well written. There's a lot of
came out of nowhere and just took over Netflix.
Well, they took over everything. Yeah, they took over Netflix, but I mean,
was that what 2016?
Yeah, but
Remember
it had like one trailer and then boom, and then it's like fucking everything. It was everything.
Yeah, because 2017 or into 2018 is when season 2
came out. Yeah,
right before 20. Yeah, right.
Now,
Like that
I
December.
will say that like Netflix at that point in time was poised. They pulled all their fucking money together and just threw all kinds of good shit out there. And they weren't really like advertising it. Because I remember seeing the first trailer for fucking Stranger Things, and I was like, all right, this looks all right. But it hit like a fucking ton of bricks.
Yeah, dude.
Like a number of their different things.
Think about the competition they had at the time as far as streaming services go. They had like Hulu? That was it?
And Hulu was just getting
and
Prime.
Hulu I think was
Prime.
still free maybe at that point.
Oh yeah. Hulu was
free,
light. Amazon Prime had only done a couple things,
Yeah.
but they crushed it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, besides probably the 2 or 3 biggest shows that have ever been viewed, which is what Stranger Things, Wednesday
beat Stranger Things.
Well, Wednesday beat and what Dahmer now, I think.
That's what that worries me when I remember when that came out. I'm like,
Too many people getting ideas.
I watched Dahmer and like
it's
it was
a very unsettling.
well-made
Yes.
show, but it still made me uncomfortable watching it because they are sensationalizing something pretty fucking awful.
It's not that. It's the way for me, it's the way they did it. Like, I literally had to watch almost every episode in 2 sittings because my skin would start crawling.
Yeah.
It was so fucking creepy.
I feel like those metrics, though, what you're talking about, are a little bit skewed. Like, obviously, there's more viewership now with Netflix and everything, but like, I feel like if you're looking at long term versus like day of or like week of or release of, I don't think they even touch what Stranger Things is.
Are you talking about streaming and downloads and things like that?
Yeah, exactly.
It was like viewing hours, I think.
Viewing
Yeah,
hours.
Wednesday-
It's like
I
think-
Wednesday. Obviously, it was huge.
I think
But
Wednesday
like,
is
I don't think it. I don't think it.
It
really,
beat it
well by the if you take it by if
based
you
off their analytics
Bait
they're
off,
using.
well, they're not basing that, of course, off of the amount of seasons that's been out. Wednesday is 1 season. They're probably basing that off an average over the seasons they've had.
They based it off of the highest season
View
for Stranger
count.
Things.
right.
I think was season 2. And they're based. So I think the article I read, they took like
that had to be season 4.
It's like either opening weekend or opening week that they count of number of views in that period of time.
and that's what they use as part of their
as their metric.
But I thought
So,
I thought they took the highest rated viewing of whatever the highest premiere of whichever season was, and,
Right.
and Wednesday beat the highest ever from Stranger Things, no matter what.
All I'm
season.
saying is you can get mathematicians behind it that can probably like
Oh yeah, they can write their
figure
own
out
shit.
like, oh yeah, it's doing really well, but it's not quite.
And that's what's
as-
crazy to me is it's really good. I loved Wednesday, and I'm glad Kyle, you finally watched it because when I first mentioned it, you're like, oh, it looks too kiddie. Fuck you.
It was
It's good.
it was definitely it was on my top 5 list.
It's really good.
For
But
streaming shows
It
to
doesn't
watch
touch Stranger
2022.
Things.
It
Like,
doesn't.
to me. It doesn't even come close.
No.
It doesn't touch Stranger Things. I did not like Wednesday at first. The first few episodes, there are some aspects about it that I really didn't like as a big fan of the Addams Family, and not just the movies that came out. You know, I mean,
But
like
the show,
the classic Addams
yeah.
Family and the comics and everything. That I feel like the spirit of the characters wasn't exactly right, and the world that it was in wasn't exactly right. Now that being said, I came around and ended up really enjoying the show, but I had to look at it as a different. Like a reimagining of these characters.
Yeah, it's a modern
it's a
take.
totally
It's-
different kind of personalities to these characters. There's a different relationship between these characters.
You got Burton. That's exactly what he does.
Like Gomez, for example, it wasn't even about who was playing him. I mean, I think he was maybe the wrong casting, but not because he was
Where was
ugly.
the
It was just
where was the manic? Where was the
Manic.
manic? Where was the manic of
Gomez
of
was always a manic character,
Well-
not this like kind of slow talking, like kind of like
Puppy
sensual
dog.
puppy
Like,
dog
yeah.
thing going
well,
on.
there's a new well, not new-ish sort of. There's an animated show or CGI show
movie
version-
with Oscar
movie
Isaac. Yeah.
that he based that more off of.
No.
That's what he
No,
did.
I
to
know.
Bert,
I
but
agree with you. I'm just
what
saying,
I-
yeah.
Goodman.
What I love about the show, if you really think about it, I love a show that starts off in a world that doesn't explain shit to you about the world and doesn't even worry about doing it throughout the show. And so you hop into this world where the Addams Family was the weirdest thing in it, right? That's what made them the Addams Family.
That was the point, yeah.
Right. But now they're in this world mixed with, all these other like werewolves, but it's not just the
And then
secret.
the normies also know about the
The-
werewolves. And
the
Yeah,
world-
that
yeah.
was the big thing for me. It took
Yeah.
to get used to is that the world now knows that. Okay, wait a minute.
But
what?
they introduced that so subtly and they don't apologize. And Tim Burton's just like, just let it be the world. We don't need to explain him shit. And that's, I think, for me, what I loved about it, because I totally came into this world and I didn't ask any questions.
Yeah.
I was like in this world. And then after the fact, I was like, oh, that was smart. You didn't be like, yes, well, many years ago, this, blah, blah. Like, it had no explanation. It was just like, enjoy it. We're weird.
Yeah, but I did think that was always the running joke through the movies and the old TV show. Who the fuck played Gomez in the old TV show? He was
In the original?
famous actor.
If you didn't ask me that question,
Yeah.
I'd know it immediately.
The mustache. I mean, he always kept the mustache after that. He's been in tons of shit. But anyway, it was a running gag in the show and it was a running gag in both movies. It was even a running gag in the third film that had Tim Curry playing Gomez, where the outside world was weird to them, and then the Addams Family was weird to the outside world, kind of like with the Munsters.
Yeah.
Right? So for it not to be in that show still felt off slightly,
Well, to me, it also, that condescension that we know from Wednesday took a different form when you consider that it's not the normies anymore that she's reacting to. When she's at summer camp
Oh, yeah.
and she's surrounded by a bunch of blondes,
Right.
and it's clearly like a play on the preps of the world.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think
you
of
understand
that.
that her being condescending is because they are expecting a certain normality from her that she is just incapable of doing. And she's like, you can do your thing. That's fine. Don't make me do your thing.
And
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so when you put her in a place where now it's all a bunch of fucking creepies and like
creepy.
what do they call them?
Fucking.
What do they
fucking
call them? They call them not the creepies, the freaks or whatever.
No, they're not freaks. They're
they gave 'em a
they're
word.
normies, and there's
I forget.
gifted. No, not gifted.
No, they would not call them the
different. There's something.
Gifted. They were not calling them the gifted.
But yeah, there's all these werewolves and ghosts,
sirens
and stuff.
Vampires.
Her
and
being
fucking
condescending
Medusas.
is now it's like,
Yeah,
okay,
sirens.
so Wednesday's just a
No,
bitch
Medusas.
now. Like, she has no reason to be condescending to people that are also being, othered
But-
by the rest of the world.
By the way, I also had a mermaid in it. Like, they pulled no punches. They were like any manner of mystical
and
creature.
that's fine
or,
at Hogwarts, but like Addams Family doesn't need a fucking Hogwarts.
But who says that? Who says?
Well, I mean, it takes away what the whole point of the show is.
That's what we're saying. It takes away the whole point.
That's why
it takes away what the point of the Addams Family has been up to this time.
I concur, but the point of the show wasn't about the Addams Family. It was about a side character that's never really been explored, and that was Wednesday.
It wasn't a side character; it was a main character.
She was a supporting character, but in terms of a character, this show fleshed this character out and put her against something just as weird as she is, and then she still acted that way.
Yeah,
because that is just how her mind works. But it explored her, and that's what made the show popular. It was because it explored the fact that she was weird in a place of other weird shit. Still the fucking outcast.
Yeah, still the outcast in apparently a school full of outcasts.
And so she still was living up to the Addams Family thing.
Okay, all right.
No, I like that. It wasn't meant to be the new Addams Family, but I will say that I love the fact that show broke out a 40-year-old Cramps song.
Yes,
which was actually a cover of like an earlier old school rock and roll song, but broke that shit out like Stranger Things did for Metallica in the last season.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's a viral fucking hit.
Actually, it was
Goo Goo Muck has never hit the fucking charts until this year.
But
that dance,
was even briefly lived because then they started doing TikTok dances to it, but they didn't use the fucking Cramps because why give credit where credit is due? They started using that Gaga song, Dance with My Hands.
Initially, when they first started doing the first few copycat videos that I saw, like right after, they did use Goo Goo Muck.
Yeah.
But you're right. Now they started doing like
the Lady Gaga
man.
song that was never even in the fucking
fuck you.
movie.
Come on, man. Give the Cramps some goddamn credit. It's a fucking Cramps.
Yeah. I mean,
God damn it, TikTok.
There's a million memes of it, and they use all different music, but like the song was the Cramps.
Yeah.
And it's fucking great.
And even Elvira did the dance, did the Wednesday dance on TikTok.
Because the first time I saw a mimic or parody of was to Goo Goo Muck. And I guess that's what I'm saying. The first few weeks after Wednesday aired, I saw that you did it to the Cramps, but now it's gone to the point where it's any song. But I will say that's a good conversation to have is we don't realize when it comes into a new show, we're just like, oh, fuck yeah, they picked that for a show. Fuck yeah, it's awesome. Because we think, Netflix, Hulu, Prime, it's paid for shit, right? We would never have gotten that on cable TV back when we were kids, right?
Right.
But this is paid for stuff. Everything that we pay for now is like HBO was to us when we were kids.
Sure.
HBO doesn't have this banner anymore of the awesomeness anymore, right? Because you have to pay for everything else too, right? So there's this paid, no regulations.
They're certainly trying.
But, it's happened a few times. Like you said, Master of Puppets with Metallica, Goo Goo Muck with the Cramps. I recently finished Walking Dead's final season hit Netflix, and in the finale episode, they bring in Cult of Personality. And now I realize why I saw that song stream. It was hitting memes on TikTok. And I was like, why the fuck are people playing Living Color all of a sudden?
Yeah.
And I think the people that were still Walking Dead fans is because they use that in the finale in a very big scene. And there's a whole generation of people that are probably watching Walking Dead now that don't know who the fuck Living Color is.
Well, remember,
so you're seeing that in a lot of songs and a lot of things that we grew up with.
Stranger Things, remember, had two. It was not just Metallica, but it was also Running Up That Hill.
Oh,
that
yeah,
was huge
yeah.
the same season.
Yeah,
You could thank James Gunn for that. For putting that back into the zeitgeist.
That's true. I mean,
Guardians of the Galaxy, dude.
The Guardian soundtrack definitely.
That's a good point.
You really the way that he used it to tell a story, and now it was always a component of things, or even a cheap
You've got
way.
like Reservoir Dogs with the ear cutting scene,
right?
A classic.
Oh, Steelers Wheel, dude. Steelers Wheel, yeah. I already knew that song just because I listen to classic rock, but that turned on so many people in the '90s to a '70s song.
And then of course, Goodbye Horses with Q Lazarus from Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
What? Wasn't that like their one hit?
Yeah,
that was like their one. Because I went, then they stopped doing music, which sucks.
I think they stopped doing music after Silence of the Lambs. I'm not sure, but no, it's one of those where'd they go and nobody knows.
No, I think you're right. There's definitely like movies and shows that have revitalized certain songs over the years.
Mm-hmm.
However, there are certain ones that in this day and age are going viral beyond.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
It's something to be said. What you said about Tarantino resurrecting a bunch of 70s tracks in his soundtracks for his movies, but now the fact that I can, all right, a little bit of backstory, 10 seconds of backstory. My work
Count
team,
it. One Mississippi.
my work team put together like a thing where we were gonna all add something to like a Spotify playlist, and I had no idea what to do, so I just threw like, oh well, I'll do the fucking Cramps song from the thing that's hot right now. But the reason being is that it's hot right now. And there's no reason for a 40-year-old Cramps song, which was actually a cover, to be hot right now if it wasn't for viral sensation of that dance sequence from the show. So I love the fact that like music can come and be so effective decades and decades later.
Like Kate Bush with Running Up That Hill getting popular. She's like, I'm
Fuck
making $1 million
yes.
a week.
There are like
during the time that it was popular.
yes.
And she
Great.
deserves it. Great.
and I can name 3 covers that have come out since then from like there's 2 metal bands have done covers, and then there was another
What,
like
of that
pop
song?
art of Running Up the Hill. Yeah.
Well,
There was already a
There was
cover.
already a couple old covers that then also got popular. Like there's a Placebo cover of Running Up That Hill that's
and that,
really good.
That got popular
That
from
got-
being on the OC.
Yeah, no, but I was going to say that was a newer
that's a
metal
thing
band.
I
I think
know.
Attila or someone doing the A, maybe After the Burial. They did a cover of it that dropped like a month after season 4 aired, and then I didn't realize it, but the band that I've raved about for years, Affiance, changed their name. They put a couple songs out as Affiance, but they changed their name, and now they're doing more of like a weird metal retro wave mix sound, and they're called Knight Rider.
Of course
And
they are.
It's awesome. And they do a cover Running Up That Hill. So it's like metal, but it still has all the synth in
We
it.
might have to listen to that on the
Yeah,
break.
dude,
I'm
it's really
interested.
good. It's really,
Yeah.
but like,
I'm very interested.
As long as it doesn't have that like shitty douche bro dude voice in like metalcore.
no.
"Ah," like he
I-
sounds like just the
I
dude
had
from
to
Trapped.
convince him to listen to Defiance.
it's going to be Mr. Feeney.
He thought it was going to be, Smash thought it was going to
He's
be
the
that
voice of
way
Knight
back
Rider.
in
Yeah.
like
He's Kit.
2011, 2012.
Mhm.
And then we sat outside of Wawa and listened to it one day, and he's like, oh no, this is really good. He can actually sing.
Okay.
I told
I've
her.
played you Defiance before. You just don't remember. Yeah.
I remember that.
No, I'm talking about
I
Hobbit.
think we sat outside
but
of
no-
Wawa a lot.
Yeah, we did with turkey bowls and after. I mean, this was like 3 a.m. after drinking at the bar after we close it.
Turkey bowls and tears.
Turkey bowls and tears. TNT.
That's right.
TBT.
in the
Turkey bowls
in
and
the
tears.
parking lot of Wawa.
But like I was gonna say though, it's weird for me sometimes. I mean, and it's just the way it's gone as we've gotten older. But I'm used to seeing the music that I love in films, but it's because we always watch films that are under the radar, that are not in the, the know. They're not what's hitting pop culture. Because I mean, I knew Goo Goo Muff from Texas Chainsaw 2 originally when I was a kid. And then I heard it again when someone played me a Cramp CD. I'm like, oh, I know that fucking song. It's from Texas Chainsaw 2. Same thing with Surfing Dead from Return of the Living. Like, I knew these songs
It's all connected to the
from
Matrix.
things that I watched in films because we don't watch. They would have never made a big film when we were younger.
Well, and I know for me at least, and that's what I can only speak to, is that I'm still under this weird thought process at first, and I have to correct myself of like, this is all underground stuff nobody's ever heard of. Like, no one's ever heard of the Misfits.
Yeah.
No one's ever heard of the Cramps. No one's ever heard of George Romero. Like,
Yeah,
these are all
yeah.
secrets that nobody knows.
I don't want to lose that
And
though
then-
because there's
I
something
know,
about
and then
that.
you see like, Miley Cyrus wearing a Misfits t-shirt or something. You're like, how does she know? And it's like, it's not a secret, bro. Like it's a very well-known band. It's just, we grew up in a time where there wasn't the internet. There wasn't this like access to
it was
information.
all word of mouth.
So that means that we also didn't know how many other people also felt like they had found something with these underground or independent artists. And there's a ton of people.
The big thing is that I'd never want to lose that, but also with that, you got to be honest with yourself that you clearly know you're not the only one. But there is a certain excitement that comes to realizing that this isn't like still the mainstream populace thing. Like the whole world doesn't listen to it. There is a lot more people listen to it than you think.
Like the Misfits, are
Everybody-
selling, like, Misfits tissue box covers and shit now. Like they're not. I don't think that, but I mean, virtually everything has a Misfits
Yeah.
skull.
This
on it
went
now.
wrong.
Yeah,
I don't mean Misfits. That was just an example. I mean anything
Sure,
that we
yeah.
like George Romero. Like tons of people know who George Romero is, but
Right.
it's still a certain amount of person. There's still a certain type of person that actually loves
Well,
the content.
everyone wants to feel like they're in on a secret that other people aren't because it makes you feel special, and that's the connection that comes from when you're into something and you fall in that not a lot of people know. It's like it's your own little secret, and it's between you and this, and then you know, everybody gets popular and it's like, well, it loses its thread. Will say, I've had a question this time as we've all gotten older and we've done this over several years. As you've gotten older, do you find that, especially with the things that the movies that we've grown up with and love, do you still find the same enjoyment when you watch it now versus maybe 10 years ago, 8 years ago?
What?
Okay, well, I want to use Ghostbusters, but that's stupid. It's
Yes, that's a yes.
Ghostbusters.
Okay,
I think it's
Willow
is
perfect example.
Yeah, I think Willow is still one of those things that I still have a lot of appreciation for, and there's a lot of nostalgia attached. Now, I wouldn't say that's the case for everything. There's some stuff that just it's not as much fun for me to watch anymore.
And here's the difference: is that I feel
like Space Camp.
Space Camp. Jeez, was it Sigourney Weaver? Wasn't that or no? Who was in that?
Flight of the Navigator.
No,
that was
see that
Kate Capshaw.
no, it was Marty McFly's mom,
Leah Thompson.
Leah Thompson.
Yeah.
Thompson.
Well, there's stuff I was obsessed with as a kid that I've watched as an adult that is like fuck awful, like Thundercats.
Yes,
is bad.
Okay, no,
It's
I'm
real
pretty
bad.
sure he's talking like blockbuster level.
I'm
like,
talking about the things that you've always considered growing up with that help shape you, you know, like part of your personality.
Mm-hmm.
That you go back to and you rewatch it now versus 8 years ago, where I may have been more enthusiastic when I watch it, more like a big kid, and now when I watch it, I'm either it could be I'm a deeper thinker about it, or I'm putting it on.
Of the content.
I'm putting it on in the background while I'm doing something else. You know, like where are you now with those?
It depends on what I think. Honestly, it depends on what it is.
Yeah.
Like, honestly.
Okay.
Give me.
What's your comfort? If you growing up since your adolescence, what was your comfort movie? What was the one movie you could go to regardless of all the other movies that you loved?
It's funny. There's 3, and one's gonna sound completely fucking weird, but
Bridges of Madison County. We talked about this.
I was in middle school when that kid. What the fuck is wrong with you?
That's about the time I'm asking.
Jumpin' Jack Flash.
No, I'm talking. You're talking about movies that formed us. They were the movies that kind of formed me, or the movies that are comfort films.
sorry.
The ones I watched in like when I was 5, 6, 7, like 8. Like,
all right, what are yours?
So one that I can still watch today, and just knowing how fucking ridiculous it is, but I don't care.
Navy SEALs.
The original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes, 100%.
Love
first
that
off,
movie.
the original, the first one,
the very first one, 1990.
I can say right now, I can still watch that and feel like a kid.
Dude, no shit. That's what I'm saying. Like, it was just gritty. We'll go into that. 2 being Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Weirdly enough,
yes,
I love that fucking movie.
Yes,
that holds the fuck up,
it does.
It holds the fuck up.
And this is really weird. Like I said, this is the one you guys are gonna think is fucking weird. But I, for some reason, I've always loved, and it's still I just rewatched it like probably 2 months ago. I needed some comfort at the end of last year. Was Footloose.
Wow. Okay.
I fucking loved Footloose.
It's a legit good movie.
It is a great. It's a good movie.
I loved. I had the soundtrack on cassette when I was a kid. I loved fucking Footloose.
No, I remember Kenny Loggins was a thing.
Yeah, he was.
When I was a kid.
He was like a force.
I was
in
like,
the 80s.
damn.
But no, it's like the dancing, and Kevin Bacon was just a badass, and like go to the rogue town and like the fight against I mean, the whole thing. Like I remember as a kid, like why are they burning books? Like there was so much in that film, and like there are concepts in that film that are still strong today. Go back and rewatch Footloose, and we are still fighting the same bullshit today.
Yeah, well, they made a remake and did well because it translated
it's the exact
easily.
same thing.
Yeah.
No, it's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing. No, it trashed.
No,
dude, it's the exact same movie.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't watch
it's the exact same movie, even down to the dance numbers to the songs, like the same songs.
Wait, hold on a second. The remake I thought did well. That didn't do well.
It might have done well, but it was
fucking. There was no point in watching.
Oh, I'm not speaking on its credibility because I didn't watch it.
There was no point. There was no point.
It might have made a
I'm just saying,
modicum of money off of the title,
the tweens and the teens.
But
I thought it would do that
movie.
because it translated to them better than.
It's probably parents bringing their children, being like, "Oh yeah, I loved this movie as a kid. Maybe you'll like this version of it." And then it probably dropped off after the second
But
weekend.
if you're asking, like those movies for some reason will always be a comfort movie, but there are other ones that are still like Tim Burton's Batman, fucking Back to the Future, the first one. Out of all of them,
first one's a comfort for everyone.
But I mean, I love all 3. I'm just saying the first one specifically. Like, so yeah, I've gone back and rewatched these films a lot, and there's so many films that do hold up. Now, the ones I feel like I scrolled through that I used to watch a lot, and I'm just like, I've seen it so much that I know it verbatim that I'm like, and I'll find something else. Those are the ones that are probably, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to rewatch it to know that I'm not going to enjoy it as much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's something you need a break from, like something that I've been thinking about needing to watch again soon that I haven't watched in probably like 5 or 6 years, if not more, is Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, yeah.
I was
a great
obsessed
movie.
with that movie when I was a kid.
Yeah, but
But you watch it the 30th time around watching it, and you're like, oh, all right, yeah, ha ha ha, all right, settle down.
Right. It gets annoying.
It gets a bit much. So it's been a while, and now I'm like, I would really genuinely enjoy a watch of like I needed that break.
yeah,
from it
that's
for
the
a
thing.
while.
You need that break. Yeah, that could
But there
help
are
too.
also movies that don't
Still
have that.
better
Like,
than Big Top.
Big Top
Oh
TV
yeah,
sucks.
it's fucking terrible.
But like, yeah, the Star Wars trilogy, the original trilogy, is that for me, where that's comfort food for me.
Yeah.
The Muppets.
Oh,
The Muppets.
Which
are,
one specifically? The original?
The
Manhattan?
Muppets Take Manhattan. No, Take Manhattan is the one. Yeah,
Where you got
for
the
sure.
fucking rats with skating on butter on the fucking grill.
Well, and also Muppet Christmas Carol, hands down, is the greatest Christmas movie of all time.
It's amazing.
It is fucking incredible.
I mean, that's Muppets, but also Michael Caine. I mean, let's come on.
Well, and also,
Michael Caine.
Amy had seen the Muppet Christmas Carol, but when she was a little kid, and she had never really revisited the Muppets enough to really appreciate to the level of whimsy and joy that I do with the Muppets until we started dating, and then we started watching the Muppets, and she saw the new Muppet one, the Jason Segel one.
That one's awesome.
Incredible. And she was like, I get it now. Like, I get why you're so obsessed. And we watched Muppet Christmas Carol, and she had never caught the line, no cheeses for us Mises before. And she was like, greatest thing I've ever heard. Like, she's like, and she just says no cheeses for us Mises all the time now.
Because it's adorable.
It's adorable as
That's
shit.
fucking
Correct
adorable.
plural for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no cheeses for us Mises.
But
Mises.
yeah, the Muppets.
Yeah.
That's another one. I can watch any of like the first 4. So being the original Christmas Carol, Takes Manhattan, and there's one other one,
Muppet Caper.
the Muppet Caper.
Yeah, Muppet Caper.
But then the new one, the one with Jason Segel and Amy Adams, was fucking
Muppets
amazing.
from Space is okay. I like that
Yeah,
all right.
yeah, that was all right.
Treasure Island is
I did not like that one. And the one with Ricky Gervais, I did not like.
No,
the sequel
that
to
was
the,
bad.
the
I
Jason
didn't
Segel
see
one.
it. I haven't watched the Muppet
all
movie
the
in a while.
all the magic that they recaptured with the Jason Segel version was just gone in the
Well, because look at the casting. You got Jason Segel who can do whimsy, and then you got Ricky Gervais who can't do whimsy.
and
It's
they
not
were
his
trying
thing.
to do like a modern take on Muppet Caper, and like no, just have your own story. Like they did the like let's get the band back together kind of thing for the Muppets, but it worked, and it was kind of its own take.
Yeah, and it's like maniacal laugh.
Except the rap part that
Yeah,
didn't work
that didn't
at all.
work.
I was a little too old by the time they started making Muppet movies to be watching those, but I will say, if you
Yes,
go
back in 1978 when the Muppet movie came out, you had to
Yeah,
get
no,
out of it.
The original one
that's
came
when
out.
the
in
show came
No,
out.
the original movie came out in 1978.
What movie you're talking
The,
about?
the
Muppet
Muppet
movie.
movie.
Yeah,
Yes, the
the
very
original
first
Muppet
one.
movie.
1978. Yeah.
Oh, I remember the show. All right,
Yeah.
I don't remember all these movies, but like the fucking show with like all the people that
All the
I
guest
knew
host stars and stuff.
Oh,
from
yeah,
my
yeah.
youth,
Fuck.
like fucking Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, Johnny Cash, like
Vincent Price.
Vincent Price,
yeah.
Alice Cooper, like everybody was on that fucking show.
It was like Sesame Street, but at night.
No, it wasn't like Sesame
No, I meant
Street.
with the
It was
guests.
Awesome.
I meant with the
Like
guest
having
star.
guest stars on up. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know what
yeah.
I meant.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
No, it was amazing. It was like the kids' version of like Late Night with David Letterman.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Well, and also it was
perfect.
meta before meta was a thing, where it's like the Muppets are putting on a performance as the Muppets,
Yes.
but you're seeing the backstage stuff of them getting ready to do the show that isn't actually the show. The show is the backstage
Well,
of the show.
Meta
Yeah,
was
so good.
Meta
Yeah.
was always a thing. It just got a label.
It got a
label,
label, but the
yeah.
Muppets were doing that fourth wall break shit constantly.
It was awesome.
Like
Exactly.
and you saw the behind the scenes, but that was the actual show. And oh god, brilliant.
So good.
Absolutely
It was so
brilliant.
So
fucking
good.
good.
Jim Henson, we love you.
yes. I'd say for me, like I won't go through like top 3, but definitely the top. I'll leave Monster Squad out of it because you all know that one.
Yeah.
It's the original, and you're not gonna be surprised by this, but the original Christopher Reeve Superman.
Oh, I get that.
No, I get that.
Was my comfort movie because it's the one movie that it's the first superhero anything I can really remember, and I watched it with my mom. And that was always like our movie. She loved Christopher Reeve, and not just because of the Superman thing, because he had done several other movies that he loved or that she loved. So she forced me to watch it when I was younger, and after that it was a comfort thing. Whenever there was like really bad shit going down, I could put that on, and for that, hour, 2 hours, I felt a little bit better, and it completely took me out of the world. So even now I can watch that movie.
Mhm.
I actually probably cry more now when I watch it than I did before, but it's still that's my comfort. And then Howard the Duck, It's ridiculous.
No, but that movie's so.
I love it.
But
Oh,
it's such a
so
comfort. It's such a comfort food. It's like
first Marvel movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it is the first Marvel movie.
And I have many others, but I'd say I'll throw a third one in there. Independence Day. I
do love that movie.
Absolutely
I do love that movie.
adore that War of the Worlds ripoff. And it's a War of the Worlds.
It's the
complete
cast of comedians they got for that film.
It's just
so ridiculous.
But the film I watch it now, even I watch it all the time, and I'm like, I still love this movie.
Dude,
I love everything
CGI
about it.
actually holds up.
It holds up really well because it's mostly practical models, anyways.
Yeah.
And just like the hyper nationalistic, like today's our Independence Day, like shit. We're like, go America, go!
Listen,
leaders of the world saving the world.
No, you cannot deny how great that speech is.
But that's like the best thing Bill Pullman's ever done.
That's the thing. Even being like nationalistic, like propaganda movies and stuff. I'm still like, yeah, you tell them.
What did he have before? What did he have before that?
Quietly into the night.
Yeah.
Basically, what's that?
What did he have before that? Newsies.
What's that other? What's that other movie?
What are you talking about? Bill Pullman?
Bill Pullman did a bunch of shit before.
I know he did.
But no, what was that other movie that has that other famous speech from like the 70s where it's like, I'm mad as hell.
Oh,
I'm not going to take
Network. Yeah,
it's like Bill Pullman's network speech.
Yep.
That's what that was. Have you not heard that speech, Kyle? You're looking at me funny.
No. So moving the mic.
Man,
I've heard that speech.
Seen Network in forever.
It's really good.
Legit, like one of the best movies ever.
Oh my god!
But still, nothing's better than Lone Star. Let's just be real.
Oh, for Bill Pullman?
Yeah.
Bill Pullman?
Yeah.
Lone Star?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's another thing we never got to. We never got to a Mel Brooks episode.
No.
Oh, my God.
Shit,
and he's still alive. He's like 99 or some shit.
We talked about it multiple times, and like that would have been fresh with the History of the World coming out on Hulu Part 2.
Yeah.
They just dropped the trailer today.
Well, when that comes out,
get the fuck out. They did.
Yeah, the trailer.
Well, when that comes
for the Hulu
out,
series,
my Schwartz is bigger than yours.
We're gonna, and you guys are gonna get some back behind the scenes stuff. When that drops, why not do that and then do a Mel Brooks episode and just release 2?
Just like a two-parter thing, maybe.
Yeah, just do that.
We could possibly,
the history of Mel, Part 1, Part 2.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I mean, I'm just saying, like
History of the Mel.
It doesn't have to be a free play when we get back
Brooks.
together. It could be for a specific thing that we're like, oh fuck, we never touched on that.
True.
We should
Well,
fucking do
okay.
it. Like,
I
mean,
Young
if
Frankenstein. I
we're
rip
trying to
that
tear
movie
down
apart
the
in
main
the best way.
episodes. It could just be a big old fucking like Mel Brooks love fest.
yeah,
Oh my God.
that's what I'm saying.
It
Like,
doesn't have to be one and the other. Like, just everything about.
well,
it.
but I mean, if we go too long, we have to make it 2 parts for releasing purposes. What I'm saying.
Speaking
Do
of
we
going
now?
too long, we can discuss this on the break, which we are well past getting to at this point. So we're gonna take a brief break. When we come back, we will go over what we're drinking and get back into whatever the fuck we feel like.
Holy
That's
shit!
right.
Stick around. We'll be right back.
That's what he said.
Coming straight from the mouths of madness, I'm Lowdown.
I'm FU Hunter.
Do you love horror?
We fucking do.
So this is a podcast dedicated to all things in cinematic horror. We're talking movies, television, composers, special effects artists. We're gonna fucking cover it.
So if you love horror,
Embrace the madness.
My name is Amy Bogard,
And I'm Mike the Hobbit.
and we are the hosts of Deeply Upsetting, where we use our expertise to answer your most upsetting hypothetical quandaries, such as what non-winged animal deserves wings?
And what body part deserves a secret mouth?
Which cryptid is the worst roommate?
These questions and more that plague you will be answered on Deeply Upsetting, available anywhere you get your podcasts and at GUIPodcast.com.
In a world of blockbuster movies, there's another dimension.
The dimension of schlock cinema. Join us at Beautiful Disasters on a journey into the fringe territory of B-movie abandon.
We review the flicks that are forgotten or underappreciated to give them a proper place in the annals of celluloid history.
I'm the Grutz,
FU Hunter.
your guides at Beautiful Disasters. Come along with us for a fun ride. May
the schlock be with you.
In a world with too many reboots and remakes,
2 men will stop at nothing to make it even worse.
join Mike the Hobbit and Tondi as they play by their own rules while pitching new takes on some of your favorite and least favorite films and TV shows. What podcast would dare to bring this upon the world?
This is Smack My Pitch Hit.
Hey guys, Scotty P here with Smash. On your left. And we are the Geekfathers. That's right, bringing all the trials and tribulations of being a geeky parent.
So welcome to our world.
And as always, join us
or cry.
We're back for the second half of Geeks Under the Influence, all things, the final free play of our regular releases.
Yeah, baby.
And holy shit, we have some booze ahead of us.
Oh my God,
for the
it's gonna be
second
a
half
fucking.
here.
We're going back to old school days. Almost
Yeah,
with this
for sure.
shit.
We've got some liquor. We got some
Most
beer,
drunk
we
I've
got
been
some
on this in a
between.
while.
But before we get into that, let's get into our sponsors a little bit. First off, of course, is not Amazon.com. Fuck them. They're not our sponsors anymore. I cut them about a month ago. So fuck them. Ha ha. Fuck you, Jeff Bezos. You don't control me. Middle fingers. So fuck Amazon. Don't shop there. Next up.
That's going to happen.
Next up is TeePublic. Do shop there. TeePublic we've been using for most of the podcast, honestly, for all of our T-shirts and stickers and coffee mugs and baby onesies and pillows and what. Take a look. There's tons of merchandise options with, I think, over 50 or 60 designs we have now on the site. The new pop cultist designs are available on the site now. We've got the comic book logo design, and we also have the Ask Me About My Cult design.
Yeah.
That is on the site as well.
We're going to get into that a little bit later.
Yeah,
in the episode.
absolutely.
Like a trippy Doctor Strange. When I know that's a bit redundant, but
trippy Doctor Strange. Yeah. Very cool designs that are available along with 60 other designs on the site from all the different shows on the Geeks Under the Influence network. We're going to be reworking some of the old GUI podcast designs to become GUI network designs. So
there you go.
We're going to be having a lot of fun kind of retconning some of this stuff. So keep an eye out for that.
But that was like a no-brainer. When we talked about it, I was like, all you got to do is change the word.
Yep.
Just change the word.
And there's some that are going to be really simple to do. So
yeah.
that'll be really fun. Honestly, I'm going to have a good time with that. So there's sales all the time. So if you do not see a sale on the site, hang out for a few days, check back. You will probably
sign up for text alerts.
Text alerts are huge. They will let you know when there are sales, and sales it's like 30, between like 18 and 35% off, depending on the sale. Definitely worthwhile. And check out TeePublic, GUIPodcast.com/store to send you to our TeePublic store. And
sweet, buy all the shit.
It. Also, check out GUIPodcast.com. We're going to be doing some work to the site in the next month or two to get ready for mailing lists that we're going to be creating to do regular newsletters. We're going to be adding some shows to the network. We're going to be kind of rearranging stuff so it's a much more streamlined website that you have access to a lot more stuff on. So be prepared for that. And back to
the show.
Of course, this next segment, fortunately, we have the
originator,
the crooner,
curator,
the velvet throat here to to send us into the next segment here.
And what have you had in your mouth?
We do have. Well, we need an intro song before we get.
We got to do the intro first.
I know. I just wanted to be.
Yeah, no, we're not skipping
so
that
dirty.
part.
No, you got to do it.
No,
all right,
we'll
let's do it.
You do the intro, and then we'll say the dirty thing.
Fair enough.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh, am I singing it without music? Oh,
No
we're
music.
doing it old school.
Yeah.
Cold.
The way you
Dude, every
the way you
time I've been
originally
on
did it.
Acapella, bitch.
No, the original when you
Every time I've been on here since we've had music. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Ready.
Hey, we're fucking drinking. We're getting drunk. You want to know? Well, here you go. Hey.
We're
drinking. We're getting drunk.
Yeah.
Yay! Way to go, Smash. Thank you so much for that on-the-spot rendition.
That was
there.
all the lyrics.
It was.
You nailed it. And speaking of nailing it, this delicious beverage I've come
Smash
to
is
really
good.
appreciate.
Thank you.
What's in my mouth right now is Smash.
It's in your mouth. Oh, it's just swishing
The
around.
orange
It's
Smash.
about to go down
I'll
your
tell
throat
you,
hole.
I had some sort of. I bought a 4-pack of theirs a couple weeks ago after you turning me on to it at the GUI holiday brunch, and there was it's like almost like a Sex on the Beach flavor. It's like
They have that.
That shit's fucking.
Is it good? I haven't had it.
It's like cranberry and orange and like another fruit, and it's fucking delicious. Yeah, I recommend that one.
Sounds so islandy.
Well, I mean, yeah, Sex on the Beach.
I know that's
that works.
that's where I was going with that.
Yeah.
So what we are talking about is if you want to introduce
the
booze.
Devil's Backbone. the Devil's Backbone. I know it's not their actual, but they are.
I didn't even pay attention that was them.
Yeah, it's Devil's Backbone, and they are. I mean, that's probably one of my favorite.
It's the best brewery to go out there as far as experience when you go out to Nelson County.
I pretty much love most of the things that they make. This is their smash drink. It's a ready to drink. I think vodka infused with orange juice.
Is it their vodka? Because they have a distillery there now.
I would imagine they probably do that. I couldn't tell you for sure, but we'll
curious,
Google that
that'd be
shit
awesome if
later.
it was all in-house, yeah.
But it's 7.5%, so it's not a joke, and you get 4 in a pack, but it does the trick, man.
Yeah, it's good. Yes.
I drank these. We went out. We went to like the mountains, and I pretty much drank those the entire time. Between that and the grape, I felt good, but I was never like hammered, never falling over myself.
It's a lot of sugar though. That's the only thing for me.
It is. So you got to eat protein. You know, if you don't have meat, eat some fucking. Always carry peanuts with you.
Well, the fats would that help too.
The fats
and
help.
The salts.
The protein soaks up the sugar. It's just better.
Yep. Good stuff. And we got a few more here. These are the heavy hitters.
Oh, Jesus.
We actually have a castrators. We have 2 castrators. We haven't had a castrator on in a minute. Does this count though? Because it's not a beer, but it's definitely a castrator.
I mean, liquors are pretty much all going to be castrators, so I don't know if that really counts.
I wanted to say it one more time. Damn it.
I will say that
castration.
I would call the liquor castrators more of like the 100 proof plus.
So this is just a dick here because this is higher than standard. This is
90. Yeah.
No, 90 is
90 is the standard.
That's a bourbon standard.
Yeah, it's a bourbon standard. They do have a cast strength Ocean Voyage that I've had. That's really good.
Oh yeah,
Jefferson's Ocean cast strength.
We
It's
don't
fucking
want to
awesome.
deal with that tonight.
Yeah, this is the Voyage 28 of Jefferson's Ocean aged at sea. It's a very small batch.
Oh, matey.
And Jefferson takes its bourbon, puts it in barrels, and puts it on ships, and it just tours the world. And
hold on. No, I meant you finished and I'm.
So as it's going, it's just naturally rocking back and forth, naturally mixing. The changes in temperatures and atmosphere are constantly getting the barrels to expand and contract. So it's just like really just massaging these barrels as it goes around the world and just naturally mixing.
It's like
back
a
and
womb
forth.
for alcohol.
Yeah, it's a womb for liquor.
And I didn't know if you were gonna go that far in, because if you weren't, I was like, hold on, motherfucker. But
it's more than just the
that's
travel.
That's why you gotta. That's all I meant. I was like, no, finish what you were gonna say, and if you're not saying that, I got some follow up, because the theory behind this is fucking amazing.
Yeah,
it's awesome. It's one of the greatest concepts and evolutions of bourbon.
Well, it's great. There's been a few.
And damn, it's good.
There's been a few different liquors that have done that. And there's one that I would say is an asshole. Is an asshole of liquor, which is a Norwegian thing called akavit, which is all about it travels and ages, going past time zones and over the equator and all that shit. It's the worst thing you've ever drank. Okay. I mean,
you got to start off with good booze to get
it's
good
maybe
booze.
Not as
yeah,
bad.
What is it?
It's not as bad as Malort, but it's almost there.
Oh, so it's like, Malort's fucking trash.
No, it's
oh my god.
Well, it's from Norway. They eat like fucking jellied shark and shit. So
yeah, jellied fish heads and shit.
And also, a lot of those countries back, the Nordic countries, didn't allow for booze. If I remember correctly, they didn't allow for beer to be made until 1995. They were outlawed, so they had a lot of liquor, but up in that area it was a lot of sweet liquors. They had rumpelminzes and shit that they would drink up there.
Well, they would do that
pretty regularly.
But they would also make this awful shit that tastes like paint thinner, so fuck that. But Ocean is delicious, and it's I have to say it's kind of similar to what they've been doing with Scotch for many centuries. One of the more modern incarnations of it is Johnny Walker's Swing, which is one of their releases.
Better.
That they put together. They blend a Scotch and they put it together and they throw it on a ship.
Wait, Johnny Walker blends? Holy shit!
Well,
sorry.
Of course they do.
Yeah, it's a joke.
But Johnny Walker's Swing is it's less expensive than Blue, because Blue is super expensive and bullshit
for also. Blended fucking never mind. I got feelings about that.
But this is the one that actually fucking travels. But what's nice about it is that the actual bottle has a round bottom. So
for you to caress.
So you can actually
as you drink.
It will, if you sit on a table on a ship, it will rock back and forth but not fall off the table.
Nice.
That's cool.
That's a physics.
Yeah, I would thoroughly suggest this is not a cheap bottle. Jefferson's Ocean Age to Sea. It's in the like kind of $80-$90 range depending on where you are in the world.
On sale, it's like $75, at least in Virginia.
I figured for the last Hoorah regular release, we needed a really nice bottle of bourbon, and man, this does.
It's really good.
It's
smooth.
real smooth.
Sweet.
Great like caramelization.
Yeah,
to it.
that's sweetness in there.
I will make a note that this bottle is Voyage 28. Now, any voyage that you get is going to taste different. There's going to be different nuances to it because depending on where it traveled, it's going to change the complexities of the bourbon.
And what's cool is it comes with a little pamphlet that explains what the voyage was like
that's what I'm saying.
for this bourbon. It talks about that made its run to Anchorage in Auckland, crossing the international date line and advancing the calendar one day. Let's see. The seas were very rough from Auckland through Brisbane and through Australia to Fremantle. Heat and humidity was replaced with sea spray and cold air. So it explains like where the seas were rough, where it was unnaturally hot, where it was unnaturally cold. So, it explains kind of the temperature changes that it goes through. So this is a story in a bottle.
Exactly. And I was going to say, like, all that makes a difference depending on what voyage you... Like, I remember the first Jefferson Oceans I picked up, God, it was right when they first started. It was like Voyage 6 or Voyage 5 that I picked up. And now they're at 28. But that just shows you... And like...
Do they have a fantastic voyage?
Stop.
You were
Come
drinking that.
along and ride on a fantastic slide.
You were drinking that shit before it was cool, bro.
No, I just mean that, like, every voyage is going to have a different presence, and that is really cool.
In your mouth.
Mm-hmm. And if you read the story of where it went, and say you buy a bottle, you fucking love it, you read the story, you see where it's been, and then you go by to get another bottle, and if you see, like, it's been through, like, half the places, you're like, well, let me try this and see if those are the places that I really love. And, like, you can kind of, like, curate which ones...
It's kind of what I love about wine, is that wine has always been a representation of the area that it comes from, and unless you're doing a weird blend from all over the place or something. But having a bourbon that can tell a story like that as well is very cool.
It's so cool.
So how expensive are the bottles that were hijacked by Somali pirates?
They're probably cheaper because it's all profit for them.
It's all black. It's all black.
I mean,
it's
all profit.
You're probably right.
You go to Somalia and be like, we got bourbon, $3 a bottle. You're like, great.
I mean, they're probably doing it for like 30, but still, it's all profit.
American?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Black market sale, baby.
That's what I'm saying. It's all profit for them. So
the dark web.
So, Grutz, you got some tasty beverage for us as well.
Yes,
here.
indeed.
Yeah. What are we sipping on?
Are you ready for it?
I mean, we got different glasses, so I don't have to
clean the palate here.
No, I did prepare that, but like I didn't know if you were ready for it.
Yeah, let's get it going.
I'm so excited to try this.
All right, what is this?
This I'm not super familiar with.
I've never had this before, and I'm really excited as a bourbon fan.
So this is something I was turned on to by a
connoisseur,
old friend.
Let's just say he's a
former co-host. The Velvet Hammer,
the Crumpy,
Crumpler.
This is a it's a straight up like Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey by Calumet Farm. Now, this is a recent release. They released some 8-year-old 90 proof bourbon. It's fucking fantastic. It's been flying off the shelves. It's not too expensive. It's about 51 bucks a bottle, but it's a goddamn fucking tasty bourbon.
I'm about to take a little.
Wait. I know not to hijack, but I do want to do a little quick toast.
Yeah,
this is to all the lost, all the found, and everything in between.
Okay.
Cheers, motherfuckers. Skull. Beautiful.
Sip.
Okay, I didn't sip. That was bad me. Oh no, that's other liquor. Okay,
that's smooth.
That is smooth.
That is smooth.
There's a light touch on that.
Yeah.
Thanks for the.
At least up front, I'm getting a little bit more on the finish, but yeah, the right up front, that's
smooth.
Well,
that is super smooth. Anything give me heartburn
bourbon,
immediately.
8 years is a pretty decent amount of age.
That's why I love Jim Beam Black Label because it's 8 years. It's the same thing.
And this is smooth as shit, but like It's got some depth to it. I
Yeah.
really like it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you didn't say the name.
Calumet Farms.
Now, I do want to do something when I saw the bottle earlier. Yeah, everyone's going to love this. Calumet. Calumet.
Oh, Jesus.
Calumet Shachine.
Yes. I just saw the name. I was like, oh, dude.
I thought you were going
Oh,
to say the name of the kid from Dune.
No. Chalamet? No.
Chalamet.
Chalamet.
No. The fucking... Because there's a side note into Temple of Doom finally has gotten its proper place over the last 8 years after Crystal Skull came out. We're like, no, Temple of Doom's not so bad, guys. It's not so bad anymore.
What are you talking about?
Against Temple.
Dude, the world...
That's the second best Indiana
I'm not
Jones
talking
movie.
about us.
Okay, first off,
your role.
you're totally wrong.
Kyle will get to that.
Totally
Grutz,
wrong.
In the world as a whole, not our bubble, in the world as a whole, Temple of Doom has not been a loved Indiana Jones film.
Yeah, they're wrong.
Not as
though.
loved.
Not as loved. Yes, fair enough. All the movies are loved.
Thanks
not as
to
loved.
Crystal
And
Skull.
then Crystal Skull came out, and they're like, wait, Temple of Doom's it's not that bad.
No,
It's pretty good.
it's
It's
not.
good.
It's
I
really
would say out of the only three, and there are only three Indiana Jones movies, that Temple of Doom is my Doom. Temple of Doom would be amazing.
Ooh,
Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom.
Great. Hey,
would be.
that is
I
a
would
great
say that
T-shirt
there
design.
Are, there are over 30 or almost 30
temples on planet Doom.
Indiana Jones movies because
The young
all
Indiana
the young
Jones.
Indiana
and
Jones
yeah,
Oh,
movies
sure.
are like
Yeah, yeah.
an
River
hour
Phoenix.
apiece.
Fucking River Phoenix, man.
Well, there was Indiana Jones, and there was Indiana Jones: The War Years. Like there were kind of two different series.
Like,
I'm
all of them were great.
I'm gonna tell you. I'll take a quick census. Best Indiana Jones film.
Oh, Raiders.
Raiders.
is
yeah,
number
Raiders.
Last Crusade.
Last Crusade.
Last Crusade is my second favorite.
No.
Last Crusade
That's
is
my favorite.
Last Crusade
Temple
is
is
a
two.
better structured film than
Raiders.
Raiders.
Yeah, it is.
And is a better
It flows
film.
better.
It flows better. The story is more solid. I'm not talking, believe me, I love Raiders of the Lost Ark. I love Indiana Jones. But if you were to compare that between Last Crusade is a far superior film.
What I love is that
Hard disagree.
Temple of Doom. Even though
let's fight about
even though Temple of Doom is my third favorite Indiana Jones movie, it is the only Indiana Jones movie where him being involved at all has an effect on anything.
The third one?
The second one.
Yeah.
The third one, everything would have still happened the way that it happened. They would have lost the goblet. They would have lost the cup, and they couldn't take it from the
Actually,
temple.
that's how, unlike the first film, where I know that's the big bang. I know what you're talking about, where he loses that. Unlike that, in the Last Crusade, it was only because of his father and what he kept finding that led the Nazis to it. Anyways, the Grail. If it wasn't for him, they would have never found it themselves, or if they did, it would have been long farther in the
So
future.
what you're saying is them not being involved in the first place would have been better.
Well, having Nazis not involved in anything is better.
I think part of the reason why I kind of love the Avengers movies is because they make things worse. If they had just not been superheroes, things would have turned
But you
out
know
better.
what? They always avenge
They always avenge.
themselves.
They don't revenge. They don't prevenge.
They
avenge.
A side note to a previous, and this is just a previous question that Smash asked before the break, and I want everyone to get a chance to talk about their own comfort films. But there are Marvel films that have become comfort films for me.
Absolutely.
Like, especially like the Captain America trilogy alone, like not even going into like Thor Ragnarok or the Avengers films, but like Winter Soldier and Civil War, like those two fucking movies, dude. Like I could watch Winter Soldier like 3 times in a row, and it wouldn't bother. If it was on repeat for like 9 hours, I'd be fine. Like I would be fucking fine.
I don't know if the three of you experienced this as well, but there's sometimes when I've had like a really hard week or like something not maybe like dramatically bad, but you're just kind of in a funk a little bit, feeling just kind of out of sorts. You want to watch something really dramatic or really dark or something kind of like unsettling.
I know that.
To kind of feel like centered by it. Like there's times that I felt that way. I was in a really dark place and I watched that movie Spotlight and I'm like, this is exactly what I want to watch right now.
Spotlight?
That was about them finding out about like information about the Catholic Church molesting, like the priests molesting kids, and the paper found out about it.
You just want to see some darkness being taken out of the world, kind of, or like a light shined on the darkness.
I think it's that when you're feeling kind of a bad place, having something that can meet you where you are, but also distract you. That it's not trying to uplift you because that feels fake. It's meeting you right where you're at, which is in a bad spot. but it's also not about you. It's about something entirely different. So you get to like put on that comfortable blanket of depression with this movie that's really depressing and just kind of settle in and kind of embrace it.
I totally understand and empathize with that. Been there, done that. But
that's Endgame.
Yeah. So recently,
I was gonna say Endgame.
Recently, going into Marvel again last year, especially around the holiday season, was fucking rough. I was looking through. I was like, I want to watch a Marvel movie. And I was looking through, and like all my favorite ones just weren't like hitting that note. And I scrolled over, and like Endgame came up, and I'm like, you know what? It's fucking Endgame.
I'm gonna fuck myself up today.
And then exactly. And then I watched Endgame, and yeah, but even with the example you gave, it lets you comfortably get into that blanket and experience that, and it has nothing to do with you, but it's the same level of just darkness.
Yeah.
But even in that, the fact that there was a light shown and a documentary out about that subject means now that it's out, and that is a positive, and that is hope. Endgame still had that at the end, and that I need that at the end too, because it makes me realize, like, you know, I was comfortable in that for, speaking of Endgame, 2 hours and 50 minutes, and then the last 20, I was like,
fucking
you know, like it was brought back up and kind of out, and I felt good at the end of it.
I don't want to get film school on anybody, but like, I absolutely 100% appreciate when any fucking film, it could be genre film, it could be like, you know, whatever, can evoke such an emotional response that you are moved.
Mm-hmm.
You might be crying, you might be
100%.
laughing, you like when something can do that.
That's cinema. That's beautiful.
That is why I love cinema.
Yeah.
And it does happen in a lot of the genre movies that we watch, you know, like we're talking about, like,
and that is why
Marvel
I hated
movies,
The Fabelmans, because it didn't do that shit to me at all.
Oh, you were just dead to it?
It was boring. I didn't like most of the characters, and I probably will be burned at the stake for that because of Spielberg, and I understand, I get it, but like,
I don't know.
I was very underwhelmed by the movie.
But
there are those that do, and that's
it. Also, it felt a little pretentious too, which I was not expecting.
I haven't watched it, so I don't have any kind of opinion on it.
That can happen. But like when it does move you, that's what's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what makes for like memorable cinema, and
even if it makes you angry,
that's building the nostalgia that will be the thing that you look back on
it touched
20
you.
years.
It moved you. You're right. It
Exactly.
evokes something. So it's naturally going to, you know, nostalgia is based off the senses. So it's totally going to build off that. Yeah.
Actually, I know this is weird, but that's what I do. For me, that like with honors with Brendan Fraser.
We've talked about this. That movie evokes something in me that I cry every time I watch that fucking movie.
Any movie where it's like, look out, he's a Jew. Like you're never gonna have like a laugh riot with those movies.
So I was, you know, I had a fairly dark childhood, and so growing up, my mom. I remember when that movie came out, or that we were able to watch it at home. She always forced me to watch things where were hopeful, because I was always not in such a good place as a kid. And she's always forced me to watch that. So that is like with honors. It's when I see a movie like that, like it's the simple act of being decent, because it's okay to be decent, because they're a human being. Like it's the simplicity of that always hits me hard, which is why I love it. And it's actually, I almost went today and I didn't get a chance to go. And I know that you've seen it, Grutz, is The Whale.
I'm dying to see it.
I'm absolutely go see that. He went without me, even though we talked about going to see it. Fuck you, Grutz. You deserve that.
I think I'm gonna take. I think I'm gonna take my daughter. I think I'm gonna take Lorelai tomorrow, because she loves Sadie Sink.
Oh, Sadie Sink. Okay.
And she does love. I've raised her on movies that I love, like The Mummy. I absolutely adore. Pretty much most things Brendan Fraser has done. Gods and Monsters. Like I love what he has done. So, you know, he was always one of my favorite actors. Period. Well, you know what? If it wasn't for him,
from the past.
Yeah, and you know what? That's a cheesy crap, but I watch it and it makes you feel good.
We rewatched Blast from the Past recently, and that's actually a fun movie
because it's simple. It makes you feel good. Yeah.
How old is your daughter?
11.
Okay. No, it's actually a perfect movie to share with her.
Which one? With honors?
No, The Whale.
Oh, The Whale? Oh, yeah.
The reason being is it is a beautiful movie about depression and loss, but also the good things about humanity.
Yeah.
Like
nowadays we need reminders of that.
We do.
Dude.
It's a fucking amazing movie, but it's not inappropriate for her, is what I'm saying.
Well, she watches enough stuff behind my back. At this point, I'm not even
She's
worried
that age,
about.
dude. It's gonna happen. It's
yeah,
gonna happen,
she goes
brother.
with her friends. She's like, I watched, Black Phone. It's her favorite movie. I'm like, okay.
When she's at the age where you gotta even if you know that she did it, you gotta kind of let a couple of those things go. Like,
I would say Black Phone is very fucking dark. It's a very dark film.
She's like, Daddy, I watched the first season of Titans.
It's about
I'm like,
it's
what?
about someone her age being kidnapped and held in a room.
Right.
That's
exactly.
it's like it's pretty dark.
She thought the boys
like,
were.
Daddy, I watched a Serbian film. Now then you're like, whoa.
No, but
that Taken was awesome. What?
Oh yeah, no bad.
Sorry, honey, I'm not Liam Neeson. So.
Yeah. If you. Yes,
please don't ever get kidnapped like that in another country.
I like the first Taken better when it was called Spartan and starred Val Kilmer personally.
Yeah. I do love Taken though. Taken's fucking.
That
good.
was a good movie, but
and it's kind of a similar plot too.
It is,
except
but
it's not his dad. It's like somebody that's hired to get a girl out of
dad
drug
adds the more
well,
emotion
it
to
was also the girl was the daughter of the president.
Yeah, well,
no, yeah.
But I was going to say, with honors,
plot point.
One of the things that speaks to me with that film, and as a young mind, especially similarly having, most everyone here, especially, Smash knows dark childhood, like watching that film actually like curated and showed me a way of like, I understood Brendan Fraser's character. Like I understood that is his only like mode, like to feel like he is something and can be something is through accomplishing these things with his grades and being the best at academics. Like, and he goes into that with Joe Pesci's character about why he is the way he is with his schooling in the film. And I can relate to that. Like at a certain point in my life where like the only thing I could control was how well I do in certain areas, and I crushed school because I could focus on that and I could do well in that. But everything else was a fucking shit show. So one thing that I took from that was it shows that you cannot get so lost in the book smart aspect of being a human that you lose being a human. And that is the biggest message that I and still take from this film. It's like you can sit there and read and be the smartest person that you know about everything that's going on socially or politically or whatever up to current date. Like you are the most up-to-date current day after day after day after day. If you are a shit person or you talk to people like shit, which equates to treating people like shit, you are still shit. Like you've still got to be a human.
Yeah.
And that really
it's more simple to give a few blankets than it is to stare out the window and wonder what you could have done.
Exactly.
But
no, exactly. It's like
so that movie for me holds a lot of lines that as a person I when I get into a situation or I get into a moment where I know like I can be this person or that person, it's one of those sayings that like rings into my head, or if I can, trust this person, not trust this person. One of the quotes is he's talking to Brendan Fraser and he's kind of on the bed dying and he's just like, everybody's a used car salesman. And Brendan Fraser's like, oh, that's cute. He's like, so don't trust anybody. He's like, no, you got to trust people, Harvard. You can't always expect a guarantee. And then the other one, which recently everything I went through with my mom had kind of taught me and rang true to me. He's like, the difference on the way. He's like, you'd be really surprised how the difference or the view on the way out is different than the view on the way in.
That's a great fucking line.
And I'm tearing up now, but if you really like, if you really think about it at times where you feel like you have a lost perspective, like in my head, that shit, it rings in my head and it's not a fix. It just, sometimes it helps steer me.
Yeah.
It's stupid, but
it's not stupid,
but it's
true. Like,
yeah,
it's time and time again where you hear that across the board that like people have a whole different perspective when they know the end is approaching.
Yeah.
And like that rings true. Like, because everything that you thought was important, I'll let Grutz, you go ahead. I've got more to say.
Let's go on a preach it out.
I was just going to say, like, I mean, notion of like him and the whale, it's about it's about trying to resolve unfettered love, like it's a depressing situation. However,
put away the regrets before it's over.
Like try to fix things. Like it's go see the movie, but
it's human.
We should get out of the doldrums of on this last episode.
That's a good word, by the way.
Of like the depressing shit.
Yeah, fair.
And
fair
we
enough.
Talk
fair
about
enough.
Like some of the fucking fun ass.
Yeah, let's talk about the network. What we got going on? What's happening?
That's what I wanted to pivot to because we're coming at the tail end here. Is that we have a lot, and honestly, there is a segue here. Is that we were talking about the whale and the idea of like it's different on the way in than on the way out, and we are on the way out of regular releases for Geeks Under the Influence.
But oh, buddy,
and our perspectives have fundamentally changed by being part of this experience for the past 8 years with each other.
I like to think we've all came out stronger.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%. I know I have.
I know my comes out stronger. Sorry. Go
Are you
ahead.
thinking about me or Mike?
Like a fucking shotgun blast. It's scary.
Like a shotgun blast.
I mean, I've heard.
Yeah.
You should ask.
Wonder Woman is the only one that can carry Superman's baby.
But like, there's been so much.
The only
there's
one
been so much
enough.
that has occurred in the past 8 years, and at least for me, there's so much of that has been informed by being part of this, not just this podcast, but like this family that we built together around this podcast. We're not just showrunners with each other. This is like friends. These are people that we've gotten closer to because of the shows. These are people that we met because of the shows. Like Smash, I consider you one of my closest friends, and I met you because Lowdown brought you over to a Star Wars episode very early in our doing this, and
I was like, I'm not going anywhere.
And great,
and you have to figure it out.
I remember us talking about you being like, "This is rad. I don't care if they want me here or not. I'm showing up.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do this."
Yeah,
and that's
I did give him the record. Was like, Smash and I are very similar in our aggressive tendencies.
I'm a little more quiet, but my aggression's still the same.
I was like, the aggressive tendencies are very similar.
I've noticed every time we've gone, like, let's say to the mountains to like do the brewery crawls and stuff.
God.
The wrestling matches that you fucking or the conventions where you're just like rolling off the fucking hotel room beds, like wrestling each other.
It's
I know.
Aggro.
Sometimes you got to get primal.
You got to get primal, man.
But look, over the past like close to 8 years, there have been ups and downs like everything else. There's been like massive highs and massive lows, both within the network and within our own lives, and it's been crazy to think about how much we've all gone through individually and together in the past 8 years. And
a lot of the individual we went through was together.
Yeah, true. Well, that's the thing.
I mean,
is having this this little family to be part of makes the harder moments a little bit easiher to.
Agreed.
I mean, it doesn't make them easy by any stretch, but
it alleviates some of the none of us should ever, and if there has ever been a panelist that has, we have failed them. None of our panelists going through anything should ever have felt alone, because they haven't been. Like when we're going through our own individual trials that aren't necessarily related to another panelist or showrunner, like another showrunner should never feel like they were alone.
There's always a lifeline. There's always
a lifeline. That's what I'm saying. Like, and we've all been there. Hobbit, Grutz, Smash and I, we've all had that where we've used those lifelines to pull us out from drowning, because a lot of us could have easily drowned. And probably not even have been here right now. I'm just saying. This is, it's not dark. That's like the hope. It's like the hope that this has given us. This is like the positivity this has given us.
And something that I've gained from doing this over the past 8 years too is that, like, I'm still somewhat jaded about things in my life. I still have that. I'm in my 40s. I don't think you get into your 40s without being at least a little bit.
You've lived the life. You lived the life.
You're allowed a little bit of buffer room there. You're allowed to be a little crotchety.
This is why Mark Maron is rich.
Yeah, exactly.
No shit.
Like you're allowed to be a little grumpy. It's fine. But on the same end, like this idea that there's always a lifeline, and then looking at that through the lens of what we try to expel here at GUI is that like it's all inclusive, not exclusive.
Do we need to can we go Vin Diesel?
Thank
It's
you
family.
for
It's both
being
family.
a friend.
It's all family.
No, but it's
all about
It's
family.
not just about
Up,
the showrunners
down
here.
the
It's
road
about
and back again.
the listeners, the
You're
people
a
that
pal and a confidant.
just picked up the show, or the people that have been there since the early days when we didn't know how to record anything and it sounded like fucking garbage. No matter how long you've been listening, the whole point was that it's a place where even the people at the table are learning something during the conversation. It's not a place where you have to be this tall to ride. Everybody gets a chance to be able to talk about the things they love. It's not just for the big brains that know every aspect of everything. We usually try to have
that's so fucking not true.
Try to
with
have
this group.
one of those at the table so that the rest of us can just float the episodes and just get drunk. But
And even if you don't,
one person's carrying.
one person's doing the heavy lifting, and the rest of us are just fucking.
Look, on Geekfathers, I Google everything on the spot.
Oh yeah,
I'm like,
sure. Yeah.
wait, hold on.
even if you don't agree, like it's still fine. Like
And that's the thing.
we have bad fucking opinions all the time.
And that's the thing is that I
the
have
beauty of
no
opinions.
issue. I hate toxic fandom. That's not saying that you're not allowed to not like something. Absolutely, don't like what you don't like.
It's okay
That's
to laugh
okay.
about it.
Right.
But it's also not okay to tell a person that their opinion is wrong because they like it.
Goddamn right.
Exactly.
If you want to playfully tease, that's completely fine. That's just part of like
Which we
friendship
do.
and like
If I say
in and
Listen,
out.
something,
Listen, I've been
it don't mean shit.
I have been tortured for
I was gonna
8
say,
years of this
Speaking of
every
teasing,
podcast I've ever
the
done.
whole
with
purpose
you fools.
the whole purpose of F.U. Hunter being on his premiere episode was to fuck with Kyle over Batman vs Superman, which was a fucking tire fire of a film.
Internal
was.
teasing is we have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's in our
Like,
nature.
This is part of friendship groups. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just the nature of the
It's
beast.
part of
and,
the thing.
and I feel like we have developed that where just the tone of the show and our listeners get it. Like they get that that's what's happening is that nobody at the end of the day
That's the
we're
fun part
we're
of
holding
the
hands
running joke.
and skipping out of the studio when we're done. Like we're
You know what's sad is no, we did. Smash brought it because another running thing of the show is East Coast Local, baby. Smash, you brought Devil's Backbone, East Coast Local.
Yes.
motherfucker. We had to,
yeah.
and I'm drinking regular Devil's Backbone, but we had to have something East Coast
the
Local.
something borrowed something
That's
blue
right.
of
Yeah.
the final episode.
Dude, we have to have
I'm a
something East
Philly
Coast
boy.
Local.
Unfortunately, the Jefferson's Ocean at Sea is not East Coast local.
yes,
No.
it is. It's Kentucky. Bro.
No, but it's
That's
like
East-
adjacent. That's
I don't
East
know
Coast
how
Local.
you know how coasts work. But
You
Kentucky's
didn't
not on
either
the
because
coast.
it's not on the coast. But you said Yingling was
Listen,
regionally local, and depending on
Yeah.
what you describe a region to be.
Wait,
Yeah,
can I
yeah,
throw this in
yeah,
there?
yeah.
Kentucky is not East Coast,
The-
but it is Eastern.
The way that they make it seems to be that the theory behind that entire drink is that it's not fully ready for you to drink until it gets to you. So technically, it's everything. So yeah, it's East Coast Local.
You know, I would
Ooh,
say
I
the
like
same.
it.
I would say the
fuck are
same
you
thing
talking about?
this podcast. Is
See?
that no? I was going to come up. With, I got nothing. But
Oh damn it!
Yeah.
I was
This
waiting. You were
Sunday,
getting
to that,
I'm
like,
drinking it at
that like
at
the end of like the talk show
Because
like
it
the
ships
sit down,
around,
like
you know?
at the end of the day, you've got to love each other.
It's everywhere.
What was
and
that? What was that?
nowhere
What was
all
that
at
old
once.
show that ended up on Nick at Night that was like that, where it was like it started out with him in the thinking pose, and then it ended with like a very thoughtful thing. You remember that Nick at Night show was black and white?
No,
You remember that? It
Black and white.
was a black and white show that came on Nickelodeon. Nick
It was
at Night.
either the Honeymooners,
No, it was
I
not
Love
the
Lucy,
fucking Honeymooners. I Love Lucy. They did that thing over the summer where they.
All My Sons.
No, god damn it.
Does
I'll
not
find
matter.
it. I'll find it afterwards. Jesus, Kyle,
so-
fuck you.
Just a reminder, we've got so many other shows on the network
Yes.
that already exist, and we are working on breaking a bunch of new shows on the network this year. We got changes to shows. We've got new shows coming out. We've got like new guests, new experiences, new live events that we're going to be doing. So
Shit, yeah.
I want you
Break
to
bad
know
on
that
your
this
ass.
stream that you're listening to right now on this episode is still going to be live. We're still going to be dropping pilots of new shows that are coming out. We're going to be dropping occasional new episodes on here. We might even throw, if we're bored and hanging out, we might throw a fucking audio commentary on here and there.
Oh, dude,
just
no.
for fucking
Now
fun.
we can actually take advantage
Just
of our
do-
commentaries,
because,
dude.
I mean, everything's set up that literally all it takes is turning on the TV and putting on the
Yes.
board, and then like it's set up to do
Yes.
audio commentary.
Yes. Fuck yeah.
So,
Stop! Don't play with me.
No, we've talked about doing more commentaries,
My
and
God.
we just haven't been able to work it in
This-
with the actual episodes.
It's like
now
a
we can do
schlub.
that
It's
shit.
a schlub version of like Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah.
It's the most fun concept I can
Yeah,
think of.
there's
Yeah.
never gonna be a fucking Superman bullshit.
no.
Why do you have to be mean? I thought we were
we're saving
moment.
you. We're saving you because we would just be mean the whole fucking movie.
Yeah.
And you would just cry when you're walking out the door.
You really would. You can't make fun of Christopher Reeve.
No, I can't.
But
no,
it
I really
is interesting
can't.
that
No, he's a good dude.
I know.
throughout the years of doing GUI, there's been multiple times, basically once a year, at least once a year, during the anniversaries, they got like teary-eyed and like choked up about like how much this has meant to me, this show and these people and everything. But I think why it feels different this time around is because I don't think we're losing much by GUI going to every so often, because so much of what this show is in the DNA of everything else that we're building on the network.
100%.
Instead of one
100%.
place for us all to go, it's like 18 different places that you can go. So there's more of it. There's more GUI.
Yeah.
Our DNA is everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's that, like those super groups of music that.
Are we Audio Slave or Temple of the Dog? Which one are we?
We're Wings.
Oh, fuck you. God. I mean, I do like me some Wings and Paul McCartney, but I was trying to think of more reference to us, you know. Audio Slave is badass. Temple of the Dog is badass.
I don't think at
Audio
our
Slave
level
was
we
good,
could
dude.
say even Audio Slave. We're like maybe Velvet Revolver.
Oh, what the fuck?
What?
Oh wait, none of us has a heroin habit.
No.
So crap.
Well, that eliminates the other two bands too.
Oh wait, no.
We don't dance around like Jim Morrison either.
It's not everybody's taste, but the people that like it love it. Them Crooked Vultures.
Oh yes, them Crooked Vultures.
Fuck that shit. We're the Head Cat.
No, we're Killer Be Killed.
Head Cat.
Does anybody know
the Motorhead?
Lemmy. And
Yeah. Okay.
fucking,
That's a part. That's more party.
What's his nuts from?
Has nobody heard
Brian
Killer?
Setzer?
Has nobody heard Killer Be Killed?
Brian Setzer.
Brian Setzer Orchestra?
And fucking.
This has gotten
Nobody.
weird.
Nobody.
Foo Fighters.
Killer Be
The
Killed.
main guy.
Nobody.
Killer Be Killed. What?
Killer Be Killed. It's a super group with like the singer from Dillinger Escape Plan, Max Cavalera from Sepultura, the bass player from Mastodon, and then the drummer is also from Dillinger. So
I'm sure somebody cares about that.
Oh God, you fucking suck,
dude.
I haven't heard it yet.
I haven't heard it. I'm willing to listen
Are
to
you
it. but I
familiar
haven't
with the
heard it.
Neurotic Outsiders?
No.
They were a super group back in the 90s, early 2000s that had Duff McKagan from GNR. It had Steve Jones from the Sex Pistols. It had who was it? Was it Izzy Stradlin? Maybe. There were like two other members that were of very well known other groups, and it was like hard, fast, like Texas rock and roll from like the late 90s, early 2000s, and it's fucking good.
Ooh,
If
got a little
it's good,
twang. It means it's got a little twang on it.
We need to share that shit.
Hot and twangy.
Yeah, there's a song called Angelina that is probably my favorite off of there, but there's also Wish I Had a Union, which is just a song about them singing about the different members of Neurotic Outsiders and how much they all suck. So they're just like
that sounds real nice.
Yeah, real good time.
Yes.
So they're fun. We can throw those on.
I do want to make notice that
don't
the
look
week
at me with
after
those eyes.
the week after you're listening to this, if we have crossovers with Madness listeners and GUI listeners, Madness will be done its break, and we will be releasing next week. Going back into our weekly releases, we always take a break first part of the year because I need a fucking break.
On that same end, Smack My Pitch Up has 2 in the barrel. We already have 2 episodes recorded. We're releasing our first episode of the new year after a little bit of a hiatus. We are back, and we have streamlined it. Instead of 4 versions of the movie, like we both get 2 real takes and 2 remixes. One of us gets the real take, one of us gets the remix. It's a nice, clean 30 to 45 minute episode now. It's running so much smoother. It's so much more fun, and it's so much easier to edit. I'm in love with the show again. Like it
Awesome.
reinvigorated
Fuck yes.
my excitement for
That's
doing
what I'm
that
talking
show.
about.
And I think it's just a fundamentally better show with this new like kind of cleaner format.
I love it.
Beautiful Disasters has a kind of revamped format we're coming out with this year. We are revamping the main episode to tighten it up.
Okay.
Tighten it up, make it nice and concise, but we also have
firm tushy.
We're still doing schlock abuse.
Nice
which
pancake
is fun.
butt.
That's right.
Nice pancake
It was
butt.
down here. Now it's up here.
That's right. we're tightening up schlock abuse too. Like keep it down to 30 minutes.
Are you doing vaginal reconstruction? It sounds
They're
like
doing
what you're
Brazilian butt lifts, I think. Brazilian butt lifts.
We haven't done that yet. We haven't done that yet.
You have your butthole tightened lately?
But
Would you like to?
We have a brand new show with our brand new host, Murphy.
Fuck yeah, Murph Lawless, baby. Woo!
Goddamn right.
Yeah.
It's based on the fucking video nasties. It's called BD Gets Nasty.
Nice.
Well,
And
how nasty. Like,
now, is that going to replace any other shorts, or are you still going to have the schlock abuse and then also the BD
we still got
nasties?
schlock abuse. This is in addition, but this is a new mini. And we're focusing all on the video nasties that were declared by the British censor bullshit that happened in the 80s. There were 72 movies done that way. We're gonna do double features each time. It's gonna be an ongoing series. It's gonna be fun, but yeah, BD Gets Nasty.
Nice. I like it. That's
coming out soon,
awesome.
baby.
Awesome, excited.
That's awesome. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Yeah.
Geekfathers is off the ground, releasing episodes again, doing the thing.
Geekfathers is we've been steady recording. We're always constantly trying to refine the format, like any one of us is. Where things work, they don't work. So we always try to at least keep it as fresh as we can and not stay to something old. So that's what we've been doing and changing it up, and we got a couple cool things coming down the line, and hopefully March will be March or April will be fruitful for us here at the podcast. So we'll see what all happens with that. But I mean, keep listening. We're putting stuff out, and hopefully something maybe that we say interests you, and you'll listen long enough,
right?
And we'll love you for that.
That's always the hope.
If not,
I hope you love it. I hope you like what you hear, and what we're bringing. That's really where it's at, right?
And if not, we get it. We still love you anyways.
No hate.
I don't like the sound of my own voice. I don't blame you for not listening.
That's actually a very good point. Like, look, everybody at GUI in this network realizes that not everyone's going to love what we bring, but the people that do, we love you, and the people that don't, because we're not their flavor, we love you too. We're just not your flavor.
Well, that's
we get it.
Nice thing about kind of decentralizing this network a little bit by GUI kind of not being the center point more than just almost like the informational channel for the network now, is that if one show isn't your flavor, there's going to be another one that is.
Yeah, exactly.
That there's plenty of choices.
That's how I promote the network on Madness. Is I'm like, check out GUIPodcast.com. We got tons of different flavors, something for everybody.
Yep.
That's because we have tons of different flavors. That's really that's the best way to describe it.
We will excite all of your buds.
And the new flavor that I'm bringing to the table in the next, hopefully next month, we'll be releasing the episodes. Is Pop Cultist.
Let's go!
I'm excited for that.
I'm excited to hear the first episode of that shit.
I've gotten the licensing as a chubby, bearded, cis white male in his 40s. I have a specialization in toxic fandom. And
yes, you do.
From that specialization,
you should never say that line again in your life.
You said it once; it's fact. And
but you should put it on.
But
a t-shirt.
I got the certificates. I'm able to open up my own consultation firm for some of the fandoms that don't have that toxic fandom, like Star Wars and Marvel, and especially DC. Snyder, DC has.
Why does it got to be especially?
DC's like the least toxic because they don't have anything to be toxic about.
What's that?
The DCU doesn't have anything to be toxic about.
But the Snyder DC.
No, because they haven't achieved any actual success.
Yeah, you know where I'm going. Yeah.
I hope you all swallow your own testicles. All right, continue.
So there's some of the more popular fandoms have almost cult-like followings to them. They have these fans that there's a very certain way that you enjoy the content.
Only way it can be.
If you don't enjoy it that way, then you're wrong. And if you look at that in comparison to like cult behavior, it's 1-to-1. It is cult behavior.
Right.
All you're missing is the Kool-Aid, baby.
So
that's right.
Instead of trying to combat that, we're leaning in. How do we get Howard the Duck to get cult following
That's Kyle's
behavior?
Oh, I'm on that
I'm going to take the tools that I've learned from being a Star Wars fan and a Marvel fan and like a fan of fandoms that have been toxic to utilize that to help Waterworld get back on the map.
I've
to help Groot's Ang
Waterworld's
to get
amazing.
I've got
Ang
mine.
Lee's Hulk back on the map.
Listen,
I've got mine.
Oh,
and this
no,
is
he
strictly
never left the
This
map.
is strictly because it's a hatred of yours. I want to create a fucking cult, if I am allowed on an episode,
Yeah.
around metalcore.
No.
See?
To each their own. To each their own.
Okay.
Ooh. The amount of
Isn't there already a cult?
My
No,
bottom
but, like,
Some cults are
I want to
too
do the episode with
dangerous.
him. That's what. That's why it's strictly
and
fuck with him.
Basically, the focus of Pop Cultist is to focus on fandoms that aren't necessarily appreciated as much or are divisive. So, like something like ICP is very cult-like.
God.
No, is very
Sorry.
cult-like. So
When I
that would
hear
not
that
be a
name, I
good
laugh.
fit for the show
Whoever-
because it's already
whoever-
got its own cult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But something like, let's say Alf or
Who
Sliders.
doesn't love Alf?
Well, no, but that's the thing. People like Alf, but there's no cult-like following to
Oh,
Alf.
I will fuck yeah.
So
I'm pretty sure-
How you haven't been to that con yet?
Yeah, right.
Is there an Alf con I don't know about?
I mean,
Sure there is.
have you ever
Sure there is.
ever seen Alf cosplay?
no.
As a matter
Exactly.
you know what?
So that's what I'm saying is that we use the tools that we have learned from Marvel, from Star Wars, from the DCEU, and we take those tools and we create that same kind of cult-like following to the Alfs, to the Thundercats, to the Ang Lee's Hulks, to the Waterworld.
I think the
We let
Thundercats,
everybody's
yes.
fandoms that they get ridiculed for, we turn that back around and we create a cult about it. And that's Pop Cultist, putting the cult in pop culture.
Oh, building the religion around it.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And the merchandising possibilities.
That's
Mwah.
mwah.
Yeah.
By the way, if you want to see the Ulysses cut of Waterworld, you
Who?
can make that happen.
Who
I am
wants to?
interested because
Oh,
I
God.
actually do enjoy Waterworld
Oh, God.
as a
Oh, yeah.
very flawed movie. But
No,
It-
there,
it
there are
is-
so many cuts, and I have
Okay.
the best one.
But
On that
it is
note,
no
we
Blade
are-
Runner.
Space
we are
truckers on water.
way over time. And we got to get to throwing down because, hey, we're going to finish this off the way that we started this. This started because it was friends hanging around, drinking booze, and talking
Yes.
about fandom
Yes.
shit.
I have a late share. Can I throw this in?
Yeah.
Because I brought
Sure,
this
let's
with me.
do this right at the conclusion of the show.
I wasn't.
Bash. Great
this,
time.
This
Good
is,
idea.
You're goddamn right. Because this is going to
Oh,
end this
Jesus
off
Christ.
right. I wasn't sure if I was going to drink this tonight, but because of what tonight is
It's a beer
and
hug.
what we're
I see
doing,
you.
it's the tropical beer hug. But it's 9.9%, and that's after I've had those smashes.
Yeah,
Which
we're
are no
getting lit.
joke. So
we don't have any fresh cups.
I didn't want to end off the show specifically, but I just wanted to throw it out there that we're going to go hard and enjoy this last time for now.
Yeah.
For now.
Let's raise our glasses to ourselves. Let's cheers,
Cheers,
fucking GUI.
motherfucker. Everybody involved with
That's
building
good.
this.
It's a good sound.
And this cheers is for you listeners as well. Like this didn't happen for 8 years in a vacuum. This is because of
That's right.
y'all's love and support that you've given us over the years, and all our panelists and showrunners and everybody that has been involved, even the minorest degree with GUI.
Goddamn right.
Thank you so fucking
we
much.
had a great fucking time.
Great
doing
fucking
it.
Yes, we did.
And
We
Holy
had
shit.
such a good time.
it's such an amazing time. Thank you so much for allowing us to not even just necessarily do what we did, but like giving us the confidence to do what we did. Like
Yeah.
we interviewed fucking Robert Englund. Like I don't think I would have had the balls
Shut
to walk.
your fucking mouth.
No, hold on. Seriously though, I don't think Hobbit nor I would have had the balls to go to Robert Englund and ask for a fucking interview if it wasn't for the fact that we had people listening to us, knowing that that when we record this, other people will love this and
Yes.
experience this too. Like there is that is like a force behind.
Yeah.
It's a force of nature behind you. Got like just pushing you along. I love that shit, man.
No. Shut the fuck up.
Thank you.
All I gotta say
You
is
rotten son of a bitch.
no. Mike,
Both of you.
you had a thing that you wanted to do.
Yeah, you
And
beautiful
you fucking
bitch.
did it, and I'm proud of you. And you made a thing. Like, I mean, honestly, like you started a podcast, and that was like, oh, I can do that, and the rest of us could do that. That's fucking awesome. And we had a great time doing it, and we've had so many fucking memories. Thank you so much, brother.
Fuck yeah, man.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right. I am a loud, kind of boisterous person, and I know I can probably come across as arrogant to some or overconfident to others, or maybe not confident enough. and I don't really care in general, but I know that when I knew Lowdown, but when I met you guys, you know, I have people that I care about, but there's very, very, very few that I've ever felt like they get me. And coming here and meeting all of you guys, I felt like I found a crowd who understood me, because I'm a weird fucking dude, even for you guys.
We're all weird fucking dudes.
We are.
Yeah,
we are.
We're all weird dudes, man.
But even in this crowd, I can seem sometimes like a black sheep, and that's just the way that I run. But you guys get me, and you didn't ask me who I was, or to change, or to be like you, or to dress like you.
We're all going to the same Wednesday Addams Hogwarts school together.
You just got me, and I love you all for that, and I appreciate that. And I'm not gonna cry, but I just
you're getting me fucking close, dude.
No, but
I really, you have no idea what that did for me,
dude. Vice versa.
So thank you.
I don't know, because even you and I haven't had that conversation. But one of the things I told you, but between coming on to this for the first episode, was that it's cool, man.
Yeah.
Because each one of us are black sheep.
Yep.
Each one of us are black sheep. And what makes us, quote unquote, a black sheep, everybody fucking loves, and it doesn't matter what you consider makes you a black sheep or makes you fucking weird, because everybody already loves you for that, and no one wants you to change. And like, when you showed interest, I was like, well, fucking come on, man. Like, because you and I have a very similar background. We've waxed poetic about that many a nights. And I was like, I think this might do for you what it did for me. And before you take it over, you talked, the amount of years I've fucking known your ass, you've talked a lot of mad shit. And
I always have some really fucking stupid ideas.
And the podcast thing, I was like, well, that is a good idea, but is this another Hobbit idea?
I had a space crunk band.
Yeah.
I had the
You had like a pirate space thing too.
There was a pirate. There was a pirate thing.
Yeah, there was a pirate thing.
Yeah, a Mad Mardigan band.
Mad Mardigan.
I still want to get that going.
Great.
But
Jesus, see, but
Mad Mardigan.
It's just
but right now I'm working on my like retro future wave band T-Rex Nemesis Destroyer. So that's the one that I'm working on now.
But they're not bad ideas. It's just, okay, what are you actually going to put your...
I get
every
idea.
I know the beauty of emphasis.
Every idea is worth putting the energy into to see where it goes. And I was more like, okay, he's passionate about it, like he has been about a bunch of other things. What's the level of energy?
Yeah.
And I watched and talked and watched and talked. Like you said, the end of 2014, it was a lot of conversation. I'm like, okay. And he did the first episode, and I'm like, oh shit, okay. And then he went to make the second episode hard, and he was like, hey, you should come on this one. I'm like, cool. And from then on, it sparked something in me that I didn't even know I gave a fuck about. And to the point now where we now have 2 fucking studios between here and I built one in my house because I fucking love this shit. Mm-hmm. So Mike, I love you and thank you so much.
Yeah.
I love you too.
I love you too, buddy.
You showed me that you were serious about something, and that sparked me and made me believe in something. Yeah. And I really, really, really fucking appreciate you for that, dude. I mean that. I love you, brother.
How was everybody else crying before I fucking cried?
We beat you, bitch.
Look, a bunch of people who didn't have a voice got a voice.
Got a voice. And it's because you put in the massive amounts of hours and hours of fucking work, dude.
Yeah.
When we first started, you were spending 10, 13 hours editing this shit, trying to wrangle shit. And then to give me the honor of, because I just did it naturally. I was like, dude, just one person trying to wrangle cats when we had a 6-person panel. Let me see if I can try to fill this out. I was doing it out of like, fuck, he needs help. But then like, you gave me the honor of being like the co-runner.
Yeah.
I never take that for granted. Like, it's not like,
you never have. I've never felt like you have.
But it's not like I've never felt like I earned it or I deserve that. It's like, no, like somebody's got to help you wrangle all that shit. And it's more about just stepping up. And
that's been incredibly helpful. The number of times that you've had to go, all right, motherfuckers, in the years we've done this.
But it's just like...
I like the slow reaches under the table.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, man, like...
Oh, I'm just saying.
This has done a lot for me over
Thank you.
over the course of these years. It has. I have grown exponentially as a person, having to between wrangling this, between being on episodes. It puts you in a position where you're forced to, and not in a negative way. You're forced to do what a lot of people don't do in their daily lives, is listen to somebody else. And it makes it easier, yes, because it's somebody you already know and somebody you already love, but you still have to stop and listen. If it can't happen there, it can't happen anywhere else in the world. It's like, if you can't listen to your best friend have a discerning opinion, like, how the fuck are we supposed to change anything else in the world by just listening?
If we can't listen to Grutz have some very in-depth and insightful thing with the 12-second pauses between points, then we can't.
And that's what I'm saying. Like,
I know where he's going, but...
I've just learned so much.
Your tone was so like in my head. I kept thinking we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock.
No, totally understand.
It was just the tone in your voice, the conviction. It was so powerful.
I get it. Why is The Last Jedi the best Star Wars movie since the original trilogy? I know.
Whoa.
It's a terrible.
Whoa. What just what? Right?
Oh, okay.
Really?
So
I don't know if I disagree, but I just agree.
This episode is falling apart.
It's falling apart.
Well past.
So we're going to be done. I wanted to make that note on the episode.
I thought we did too.
I love you, and thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be part of this
Grutz.
and to create my own.
I love
and to get
you
the
too,
passion
buddy.
to create my own thing, dude. Like,
there is something so magical about
with
making
Hunter,
a thing.
obviously. Hunter has helped a lot.
Willing something, obviously, yeah.
They're creating this in their mouths.
Oh my God.
Oh, sorry.
There is something magical about creating something that never existed before, and willing it into existence by pure effort. And that's what we've had the opportunity to do for the past 8 years. One thing that I've learned about myself through doing the show and through therapy as well is something that I really crave throughout the entirety of my life is community. I tried to find that in the punk rock scene as I grew up. And as much as that ethos is still on me, that I still truly fucking believe in, the scene part of it is something that I never really fully appreciated. It's the same fucking high school shit or business shit. Like, it's the same kind of stuff that you deal with any kind of group of people. And that's something that I was always looking for, as a group of people that didn't have that weird hierarchy, I'm cooler than you kind of energy. When I moved to Richmond, I started the RVAMC, Richmond, Virginia Musicians Collective website, trying to get musicians to talk to each other and start bands and trade equipment and stuff. And that started getting off the ground, and then it just didn't. And with groups of friends, we jokingly started a group called the Candy Cane Assassins, and it was this group of friends. And then there was GUI, and GUI was something different because it required effort. It wasn't just people that hung out together. It was that you had to put energy into the thing.
Yes.
You had to put time and research and energy to be part of this experience. And it wasn't that anyone was better or worse than anybody else. It wasn't that anybody was the cool kid and somebody else was not the cool kid. It was that it just took giving a shit, just a little bit, to be part of this experience. And because that was this tall to ride was literally just caring, I ended up with the most wonderful family of like loving and thoughtful people to be surrounded by on a regular basis, because it's people that are willing to put their money where their mouth is and to put that little bit of energy out that a lot of people aren't willing to do. And so at the end of the day, GUI isn't just about shooting the shit with my friends and talking about nerd shit. That's where it starts. But what it really comes down to is the idea that like true friendship comes from the people that show up, the people that consistently show up and are there and support you, and you support back. And there isn't niddly-piddly bullshit about who did what for who and back and forth about it. It's just about being there and being available and just believing in each other.
We made it bare bones simplicity. It is very simple to do that.
It's very simple to do that.
But I feel like this showed me, even when I thought I had a rudimentary understanding of it, how simple it is to just show the fuck up.
So in addition,
it's simple
to the things that we believe in here at the network of like inclusivity and not gatekeeping your shit. Like, if anything, be a mentor to the people that are getting into the shit that you're into, because that just means more of it gets to exist.
Exactly.
It's okay not
the
to like a
more
thing.
people that love the thing, more the thing.
Yeah, it's okay, and it's okay to have part of your shit that you don't fully understand because it's not necessarily for you. That's something I had to learn when I got into my 40s.
It's okay to be okay.
Yeah, that stuff isn't always necessarily aimed at us anymore, and that's tough sometimes, but it's okay.
But it's tough, but it's the truth.
Yeah,
it's the fact. Like, not everything's aimed at 40-year-olds.
But
I'm not 40 yet.
Right.
I'm not either, but I'm close enough, dude.
Yeah, I know.
But what I learned more than anything else is that at the end of the day, you put your energy into people and what you love and what you want out of life, and not all of it will get returned. But instead of getting frustrated about it and getting negative about it, use that as an answer of where you need to put your energies. If it's not bouncing back, it's like radar. You know, you then you don't have to focus on that anymore. Then you readjust and you focus on the things that are giving you that energy that you need, you know, whether it be friendships or a project that you're working on, something creative. Put your energies where they work the most.
I've got to bring us back down from the serious level, and it's kind of like a boomerang, and like I love boomerangs because they always come back. Does anyone ever remember Suicide Squad?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that? Yeah. Sorry, I had to do it.
Yeah.
But in order for a
hey DC fanboy, fuck you. You better love that fucking movie.
Oh,
but for a boomerang to come back to you, you got to put the effort into the boomerang in the first place.
Exactly.
Yes,
They're like
yes.
boomerangs. You got to fucking fling it, and it'll always come back.
And that's why Captain Boomerang is the most insightful, thoughtful character in the DC arsenal.
You shut your fucking mouth.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right,
he gets me.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
This is going so wrong. I'm angry. I was so hopeful.
Like,
now I'm angry.
We came into this universe as a fucking overloaded episode of bullshit.
We're like actually
Hey,
overloaded.
Hobbit.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me come on.
Thank you all for coming on a regular basis.
And
damn, it's been a ride, brother.
Fuck yeah! All right,
it's been an amazing ride. I wouldn't trade it for anything, you fuckers.
I genuinely love you guys.
I love you too, buddy.
I love you too. I love
like
you.
Family. You are
Hobbit.
fucking
I love
family.
you. Smash. I love you. Grutz. I fucking love you. I love all you motherfuckers. And
all of our weird, it just coalesces.
Yep.
And that's what it's about.
And on that note, I don't think this episode needs to end with just one of us yelling the end thing.
Oh no, I do have something special for that though.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
You can say that too, but I think whoever wants to join me in the 1, 2, 3 go of it, please do.
Mm-hmm.
Because this, at the end of the day, isn't a one-person deal and never has been. It's about all of us being dumbasses together.
Yes.
So let's fucking do this shit.
DVDA.
Don't leave me out to dry like the fucking intro when I go woo and none of you fucking do it. Like
wah.
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 Going out bitter. Yay.
That's the way.
That's those old jaded things we talked about earlier.
That's the way you came in.
Yep.
Yeah. You're crying when you come in. You cry when you go out.
All right. I'm Mike the Hobbit.
I'm Lowdown.
Join us or die.
I don't know why everyone got so sad towards the end of this, because, like, for me, it's a mark day because Hobbit's finally going to shut the fuck up.
Damn! Boom, bitches!
Cool.
Join us or die. Join us or die. Or I will swallow your soul.
GUIPodcast.com